How do you measure Mark Messier? 5 Stanley Cup rings. A league MVP. Always tenacious. Respected by those he plays with, those he plays against. Mark Messier is a winner. And with him, so are Mike Keenan and the New York Rangers. The Philadelphia Flyers, a team right now struggling to stay above 500. And the kid is feeling the heat. Expected to be built in the mold of Mark Messier and lead Philadelphia back to the playoffs where they have not been for years. The question is, can he? Tonight, they face one another. Madison Square Garden in New York. Philadelphia Flyers winners of their last 2, including last night 6-2 against Boston. The New York Rangers at home. They'll have a full house on hand, but they have lost 4 of their last 5 games. Hello, everybody. Gary Thorne, welcome. Great to have you with us on ESPN's National Hockey Night. For the New York Rangers this season, they have been 1 or 2 in the National Hockey League for virtually the entire first half of the season. They are the second best team in the league right now, but they are struggling. How come? Well, there are a couple of reasons, but none of them seem to be major. Then again, this is New York. How do you read that, Bill Clement?
Well, Gary, we know the Rangers have stumbled, but doesn't everybody during the regular season, this is no big deal, right? Wrong. This is New York. These are the New York Rangers, and the expectations are so high here. I think they should be. This is the best Rangers team in 20 years, and the fans here have been waiting 53 years for a Stanley Cup. So the players in this room are starting to feel the pressure. This isn't just another regular season game. This is an important game. So who do they look to? Well, to me, the Rangers have still one of the best big game players in the world today. His name is Mark Messier, and as far as I'm concerned, if this is an important game, Messier will be an important guy. Al Morganti's with us tonight. Al?
Thanks, Bill. I live in the Philly area. I get to see number 88 a lot at practice. 2 weeks ago, he's asking, you guys doing that game at New York? Yeah, he looked forward to this one at Madison Square Garden, the Flyers' first trip to New York. Big game player, primetime player, wants to judge himself against the best team in the NHL right now. Yes, he's supposed to be the Flyers' answer to Mark Messier, but a lot younger, so the organization struggled. How much pressure, how early on the guy's shoulders? No, they didn't give him the captaincy, but the responsibilities understood. And as the games get bigger, his ice time increases. The fans, all they know is Flyers haven't made the playoffs in 4 years, so they're saying, yo, big guy, it's all on you. Get us there.
Al Morganti, there are a lot of similarities between Philadelphia and New York when it comes to winning. In New York, the skyline dominated by the World Trade Center. Our National Hockey League game tonight, a couple of towers in their own right. It'll be the kid on the left and Messier on the right.
Hi, everyone. I'm Steve Levy back at our National Hockey Night studios. The game for you tonight, the New York Rangers, the Philadelphia Flyers. Gary and Bill coming up from the Garden in just a bit. 5 other games to tell you about, including Montreal and the Islanders, the Habs unbeaten in 7. 2 West Coast games, including Ottawa in Vancouver. The Senators are winless in 11. My partner on the blue line, as always, is Jim Schoenfeld. One of the more interesting matchups tonight from the Central, Dallas and Detroit. They'll meet for the 5th time already this season. Both come off difficult losses.
Dallas had a real tough loss last night in Toronto, a 4-3 overtime loss. Anderson scoring the goal with only 13 seconds left. They, of course, are playing without their superstar, Mike Modano, out with a knee injury. The Wings lost to a vastly improved Tampa Bay Lightning hockey team, but they're still one of the best teams in the National Hockey League, and why not? Sergei Fedorov is chasing Gretzky for the scoring lead. Yzerman is back on track, and Dino Ciccarelli has scored his 500th career goal. So if you don't play good defense against the Red Wings, they'll blow you right off the ice surface.
Jim and I have much more coming up for you in the intermissions tonight. It's the Rangers and the Flyers from Madison Square Garden, including Brian Leetch. 42 games, 42 points on National Hockey Night.
ESPN's exclusive coverage of National Hockey Night is brought to you by the New Dodge, a division of the Chrysler Corporation, by Bud Light, the official beer of the National Hockey League, and by New Contact Non-Drowsy Severe Cold and Flu. Helps turn sick days into work days.
Welcome back, Madison Square Garden in New York on Friday night as the Philadelphia Flyers and Rangers meet for the 2nd time this season. They met previously with Philadelphia coming away with a win in that game 4-3. He's turned the tide.
Well, Mike Keenan has a plan for tonight's game, Gary, because they haven't scored very much. He wants his team to get the puck to the net, in brackets after that, with intensity, a lot of it.
Recchi and Messier ready to take the face-off, and we are underway. Bill McCrary dropping the puck. It'll be DeGrace and McCourt who will be the linesmen working tonight's game with him. In net, Tommy Soderstrom. Remember, Philadelphia played last night. Dominic Roussel started last night. Soderstrom will get the start tonight. Messier back in his own end. Clears it up. It'll be spun around in the zone by Alexei Kovalev. Kovalev out there with Messier and Graves on the first line for the Rangers. Brian Leetch teamed up with Zubov, and they send it in.
And I don't know what to make of the Flyers starting lineup. Mark Recchi started at center. I'm not sure he's played a shift at center all season long. Brent Fedek on the right and Beranek on the left. And neither Fedek and Beranek have played a whole lot in the last few games.
Well, Philadelphia, even though they're 5-5 in the last 10 games, has not been scoring a lot of goals. Very Sensen maybe shaking it up a little bit to try and do something with it. Richter at the other end. Mike Richter making the start for the New York Rangers. 6th best goals against in the National Hockey League coming into tonight's game. Chased down in the corner. Gary Galley, the All-Star. Get it up along the boards, not out. Gartner drops it off. Puck loose in front. Soderstrom knocked it away. Good chance in front of the net. Penalty coming up, delayed call. Shot the save made by Soderstrom. Sergei Nemchinov had 2 chances, and the sticks are up early.
Well, there are more helmets on the ice than there are pucks right now because there are 2 helmets. One Rangers helmet, one Flyers helmet. We said this is an important game, and the Philadelphia Flyers have started Tommy Soderstrom in goal. Kind of a surprise because Dominic Roussel has been hot, and he was terrific last night at home in the 6-2 win against Boston. But Soderstrom has had to come up huge right away. Eric Lindros tried to push Mike Gartner off the puck. The Rangers were able to get it to the front of the net. I guess that's the hole right in front that was being called.
Boy, Nemchinov was open twice.
Now we know why Nemchinov doesn't have a helmet on, because it was ripped off, and that's what the penalty was for.
And there is Tommy Soderstrom. This is his 17th start of the season for the Philadelphia Flyers. And right away, Finley goes on roughing at 1:07. And the first power play chance of the game will be taken here for the New York Rangers.
See, that's what Eric Lindros and the rest of the Flyers are going to have to watch for, is people in front of Tommy Soderstrom. Mike Keenan wants more traffic, people in front. Hey, listen, something good always happens when you've got people driving the net, and something good happened for the Rangers. They drew a penalty.
There you see the power play of the New York Rangers. They've already scored 51 power play goals this year. They are good at it. While Philadelphia has given up 44, they are 20th in killing off penalties and 21st on the road. So we'll see what happens here. New York Rangers' first power play chance in this game. They have been led on the power play. Leetch has picked up 10. Adam Graves has picked up 10. And Leetch is second only to Gretzky in power play points. There is the All-Star. Leetch working one of the points, deflects to him along the boards. Back out at the top. Graves shot deflected wide, and it was deflected by Mike Gartner, who was in front of the net. Near side for Leetch. It always comes back to him. Centered wide. It went behind at Gartner. Leetch working the near side point. Shot on. That one's wide as Messier got it. Back over to Messier. Messier in the corner, chasing down. Mark Messier sends it around near side. A minute 12 on the power play chance for the Rangers. No score, just underway. Rangers and Flyers here on ESPN's National Hockey Night. Comes back to Leetch. Leetch, who certainly can shoot it. Zubov. Whoa, did he rack that one up?
Well, if Brian Leetch has a cannon, Sergei Zubov has a rocket. Terrific play by Brian Leetch. He drew people over to him. Al Conroy, number 15 of the Flyers, got drawn over to him because Leetch showed shot. He faked it, and then Zubov launched one. Now, this might have hit something. We've got a super slow-mo look at it, and we may see it hit somebody on the way. Tough to tell from that angle, but Messier looked like he was crossing through that flight pattern that Zubov launched with the missile and may have tipped it off the post.
What a shot.
Well, even beside that, Gary, the Rangers' power play has been on the limp. 3 for 28. One of the reasons why they lose the puck in the offensive zone, nobody get it back. On this power play, the puck was at least up for grabs with different Flyers 3 times, and the Rangers always had enough people there to outnumber the Flyers. So they've gone back to the hard hat approach, the hard work approach. You got to do that when the finesse failed you, and that's what's happened to the Rangers lately.
Zubov, who is 6th among defensemen in scoring, and Leetch, who is 4th among defensemen in scoring, combine on that one. As it is a 1-0 lead, the Rangers get the power play goal, and they get it on their 5th shot. Rebound by Lindros, ripped high over Richter. Up along the boards, it rolls all the way out to center. Flyers will chase it down at the other end. Zuboff is given credit for that goal. His 7th of the season. 5 have come on the power play. Leach and Messier at 2:08 for the Rangers. So they kick it off before most of the Ranger fans have a chance to get seated. Eric Lindros starts it up. Lindros ridden out of the play on the near side by Tikkanen, who was on him. Leach will play it back in his own end. See whether or not Tikkanen will have responsibility on Lindros. Tikkanen in the zone was onside, though, as he forced the play deep behind the net. Hit put on along the boards by Greg Gilbert. Tony Amati out there with him. Amati poked it back deeper into the corner. Tikkanen was waiting up along the boards for it, but it never got to him. Philadelphia down a goal, gets it back in their own end. Yuskevich. Dmitry Yuskevich, who set out 3 games. Wasn't playing that well, Bill. Now has come back and
boy, did he come back strong. The message was sent, and he received the message. He's got a goal and 4 assists in his 2 games back.
And that can really help the Philadelphia Flyers, who need some offense. Cleared up for the New York Rangers and not out of the zone. Held in. They've got Brindamore in front of the net. Penalty coming up on the Rangers. And there's the touch-up. So the Rangers scored on their first power play chance of the game. Philadelphia will get a power play when we come back.
Steve Levy back at our National Hockey Night studios. Montreal on Long Island. First minute of play. Marty McInnes moves inside the zone. Fires the shot. Patrick Waugh there to make the stop. And there's Brad Dalgarno on the rebound. 46 seconds in. Gary and Bill.
Thank you very much, Steve. And there is Zuboff, who got credited with that first goal on the power play. And now the power play opportunity for the Philadelphia Flyers. Eric Lindros will be out there to set up in front. Flyers do not have a shot on goal yet, while the Rangers have picked up 5. And we are 4 minutes into this first period. Philadelphia trying to hold it in, did not. They've got to clear the zone here. Leach shorthanded. Rangers are number 1 in shorthanded goals. They have pumped in 13 this season. So they are dangerous.
This will be a good matchup. The Flyers got 2 power play goals in their game against the Bruins last night, and power plays are streaky like everything else.
Look in front, Rindberg. It was kicked wide. I'm not sure if it was Mike Richter who got the stick on it or he got a little help from Jeff Bukaboom. Philadelphia with the advantage. They'll change it up as they take it in behind their own net. Going to win games in the end in the National Hockey League season. Your power play has got to produce. Right now, Philadelphia's given up 44 and scored only 39. Tommy Soder's going to the other end.
What do the Rangers have? It's a plus differential, I think, of 28. To contrast the two, the Rangers are by far the top in that category.
Yep, 52-32 right now with the score they picked up here tonight on the power play. And Gartner just rags it back at center ice. Nemchinov trying to take it a little deeper, was stripped of the puck on the far side. Can't set it up in the zone. Rindberg held in at the point. And tipped out of the zone by the Rangers. Here's a shorthanded chance. Gartner coming in. Shorthanded. Scores!
Gary Galley had absolutely no chance to catch Mike Gartner for a real good reason. Mike Gartner is the defending fastest skater champion from last year's All-Star break, and here he is pulling away from Galley. Boy, he made that look easy. He showed shot all the way. The only way he could have deked is to his backhand because he was way over on this side, but he just looked and there was a small opening between Soderstrom's pads. Bingo. He has not scored in 6 games, Gary, since he got his 2, has he? To make it 600 and 601. That is goal 602 for Mike Gartner.
That'll loosen you up in a hurry. He is now tied for the league lead in shorthanded goals with Nelson Emerson of St. Louis, of Winnipeg, rather, formerly of St. Louis. They both have 5 shorthanded goals. 2-0 Rangers lead. What a breakaway that was on the deep rebound all the way to center. Still a power play, though. Galley's shot deflected into the near side corner. Philadelphia still has time here with 6 seconds left on the advantage. They've got it in the end. Rindberg set up in front. Brindamore couldn't get it. Rindberg tipped. Great save by Mike Richter. Richter knocked it away as he stacked the pads up. Going down, the legs up on the right. Richter again on the long shot to the board. Rebound. Rindberg scores. It will be an even strength goal. And Michael Rindberg, I believe, put it in. May have been Brent Fedek. May have been Fedek. As the puck came loose, Richter was down.
Gary, Fedek got robbed the first time. I mean, if anybody deserved this goal, it was him. But look at the Flyers are doing. 2 people right in front of Mike Richter. An outnumbered situation, and the Rangers got tangled up, both Bukaboom and Leach. And that's Fedek's second great effort. When you talked about Richter stacking the pads, it was a save on Brent Fedek. Here's the play right after Richter had robbed Brent Fedek. And the Flyers are doing nothing fancy here. Just try to get the puck to the front of the net, overload. There is not a greater bread and butter play on a power play than what the Flyers just did.
He's doing a job for Philadelphia, Bill. There you see Renberg, 41 points among the rookie leaders, top 3. A power play goal picked up by that time Fettig, who put that one in out in front on the deflection. And it is 2-1. So the specialty teams are putting the points on here. That power play, we had a shorthanded goal. I guess that may have been even strength. Penalty was over.
Was it? I don't think the Flyers care right now. Terrific effort by Brent Fettig, who sat out himself a couple of times this season. Terry Simpson has not been, he's not waited to pull the trigger on sending messages to some of his players this year, including Brent Fettig, including, as we mentioned, Dmitry Yushkevich. Hey, when it's not working, you got to try to fix it.
Moranek tries to drop it off, played back by Rob Ramage. Ramage got it out. It was an even strength goal. Intercepted by Tony Amati along the boards. Rangers keep it in. 2-1 lead here. The Rangers with a power play and a shorthanded right through the crease. That's the ticket that was there. Could not get a stick on it. Zubov holds it in. Fettig picking up his 10th. Brendamore and Galley. That one skipped wide on the blue line shot by Amati. That's a ticket and back to get it. So they're coming early and often. Blocked out deep. Ticket and just bats it deeper into the zone. The goals here, Zubov 208, Gartner at 504 shorthanded, and Fettig at 552 on the even strength. Played around behind the net. 7 minutes in here, and these two teams meeting for only the second time. Both feel this is an important game for them. That one banged off the side of the net, controlled there by Kevin Lowe. The veteran defenseman get it up. Rangers clear it out of the zone. Mike Kyprios. Kyprios will send it in. The Rangers change up behind. 6-4 the shots in favor of the Rangers, who have the 2-1 lead. You see the hitting going on. Gartner saved. Tommy Soderstrom got the right leg on it. Well, the Rangers were worried about charging the net. They're charging the net tonight.
You got that right.
They're going for it. Steve Levy.
Gary, thanks. Islanders trying to keep up with the Rangers. Very un-Montreal-like. Paul DiPietro and Lyle Oedeline collide. That gives the puck to Patrick Flatley. He finds Benoit Hogue. He beats Patrick Waugh. 2-0 Isles. Back to the Garden.
Well, the Rangers want to step it up physically. Nick Kyprios is one of the men that can do that. The last game the Rangers played, they lost it here, but Nick Kyprios was their top player. Here he comes now. You just know you're going to get whacked. I mean, you'd better keep your head up when Nick Kyprios is on the ice, and he hasn't gotten into that many games with the Rangers. He's been one of the taxi squad guys for Mike Keenan, but when he plays, chin up, guys, chin up.
He had been out 19 of the last 23 games, so you're right. He hasn't seen a lot of action, but he's in there tonight. 2-1 lead. New York Rangers on top. Played in the corner. Doug Lidster, who's been out the last 2 games, getting some action tonight for the Rangers. Trying to break it up. Ice it. Got Nemchinov looking. Centering pass deflected into the corner. They ended up with a 2-on-1 break that time. Couldn't convert. Backhanded shot wide. They're getting chances. Kyprios had it, but he couldn't get the backhand on Tommy Soderstrom. Lindros was over in the corner. Rangers still controlling in the zone. Now lose it. Nemchinov's pass was deflected.
Terrific shift for Stu Malgunas, number 23 for the Flyers. He's the guy that broke up the 2-on-1. I mean, he had 2 big hits after that.
Yushkevich twice has to dump it in along the boards down the middle. Renberg cutting in. Nowhere to go with it. Renberg put it on the stick, and then it was deflected wide as he tried to get the shot off. Gary Galley waiting for his teammates to clear at center. Dumps it off to Yushkevich, who sends it in, and Philadelphia will change it up. 11:28 left to go. First period, Madison Square Garden. And the New York Rangers up by a score of 2-1. Zubov bounced off the official as he started cutting up ice. Straight down the middle. Squeezed out of the play. Moving over nicely that time was Leach. Messier drops it into the middle. Back come the Rangers. Kovalev working with Messier. Tommy Soderstrom on the blue line shot deflects it into the corner. Boy, this thing is wide open with some good speed here as these teams are going at it early on. And that'll be sent back in on a delayed offside call. 11:02 left here in the first. Great to have you with us. Rangers up by 1. New York Rangers, the best in the National Hockey League at home. They are 16-4-3 at home. Philadelphia in here for this one. It'll be sent in behind the net. They've changed that first goal of the Rangers to Graves. Leach moving it in. Leach centering from Messier. Deflected off everybody's skates and went wide. Cleared out of the zone. Faust got it out for Philadelphia. Knocked down by Leach in his own end. Leach trying to flip it up, and it deflects back into the zone for the offside call on the Rangers.
So that will be 11 power play goals for Adam Graves. We thought it had tipped something in front. And the Rangers have had as tough a time scoring goals as the Flyers had. They erupted for 6 last night. And the Rangers are hoping that they can do it tonight. If anybody can get them going, it's Adam Graves. He is obviously, I mean, to me and anybody that follows the New York Rangers, the heir apparent to the captaincy here in New York. Once Mark Messier gives it up and retires, because that's what it'll take to get it off of Messier, Adam Graves is a lock. What a terrific, terrific team guy. Nobody better in the league.
He is now 8th in goals in the National Hockey League with the one he's picked up here in this game. Rangers leading it by a score of 2-1. Philadelphia with 4 shots on goal thus far. Lindros working out in front, couldn't get it. Rangers really looking to break. They're coming out in a hurry. They've got Graves cutting to the net, looking for him. Kozlov left it off in the corner. Leach moves up, back to Messier. Messier centered, hit the side of the net with it. Couldn't do anything with that one. Rutsayev moved it up. Baranek in. The shot deflected wide. And what a penalty that was. Vukaboom. There was absolutely no question about that. That's called hogtied. Bring him down.
I'm always sitting here calling for a penalty shot. We're not going to get one, but it was an obvious penalty.
He's shaking his head, but I'm not sure it's about the call. It's about the fact he had to do it. Well, right here at Madison Square Garden, the All-Star Game this season, and ESPN will be part of that very special weekend next Friday, 7:30 Eastern and 4:30 Pacific. We will have the Heroes of Hockey game and the skills competition right here in the Garden. Some of those heroes featuring Gordie Howe, Dennis Potvin, Eddie Jockman, and Ron Duguay, both who played with the New York Rangers. And the skills competition, it's all coming up next Friday.
Flyers will get a chance to get their skill back in the ice, their power play. Here's Joseph Baranek trying to break around Jeff Vukaboom, and he did break around him. That's hog tie right there.
Hog tie. All you need is a little rope. Now second power play chance for Philadelphia. 0 for 1, but they did score their goal. FedEx goal came right at the end of that power play chance. Short-handed goal has been picked up by Gartner in this game. Well, let's see what happens here. Rangers short-handed again. Take it in the blue line shot. Tommy Soderstrom knocks it away behind the net. Power play for Philadelphia. Rangers leading by a score of 2-1. The Philadelphia power play. Joseph Baranek has had 6 power play goals. Believe it or not, that's the most of anyone on this team. Recchi has picked up 5. So you can see how that power play has struggled. They just don't have anyone in particular getting it done. Lowe tried to back it out, could not. Deflects on the near side to Recchi. Recchi sends it in, goes around the board. Lindros is out there with Renberg and Recchi up front on the power play. Comes to the near side point. Looking, Racine. Yves Racine works one of the points, gets it back from Recchi. His shot deflected wide. Renberg tried to push that in on the rebound, but it bounced right over his skate. Racine again wide side. They set up Renberg in the low slot. Shot Racine, deflected again wide and behind the net that time. Defenseman of Philadelphia moving in to try and cover, may cost him. Gartner's got it. Gartner coming, but he has run out of legs here as the Rangers change. Gartner had to move it in by himself. Soderstrom flipped it away.
Ran out of room, too, because Gary Galley was able to get back. He took a pretty good swipe at him.
45 seconds left on the Philadelphia power play. They get one here. They'll get this game tied up and whistle behind the play, and I'm not sure why. We'll find out in a minute. Joining us here tonight, Al Morganti. Al.
Gary, Bill mentioned early kind of a mild surprise. Tommy Soderstrom was in goal tonight. Roussel had won the last 2 games. I asked General Manager Russ Farwell before the game, 3 games in 4 days. That's part of the reason. Also, they want Soderstrom to stay in the rotation, so to speak. I get the idea Philadelphia doesn't want to go with an A-B situation, 1 and 1A with Soderstrom and Roussel. Gary?
All right, Al. His last start, Tommy Soderstrom went at it on January 8 against Tampa Bay, a 4-2 loss. But, Bill, we were talking about non-support.
Listen to this. In the last 7 complete games that Tommy Soderstrom has played, the Flyers have scored 11 goals. They've scored 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, and 1 in front of him, totaling 11 goals. That's 1.5 goals a game. Yeah, Terry Simpson, shake your head. You don't win when you score 1.5 goals a game. Dominic Roussel has had his guys in his last 7 complete games score 3 goals in front of him. Not that many, but Roussel is 4 and 3 in those 7. Soderstrom has only won 1 of his 7 decisions, and I'm amazed that he won that one.
Yeah. Philadelphia, that was a penalty. Too many men on the ice. Fouts will serve it. That cost Philadelphia 40 seconds worth of power play. So now it's 4 on 4. Brought in by Tikkanen. Ooh, almost got it in front. Almost got held. Tikkanen still being tied up behind the net. as he and Malgunas finally separate here. 4-on-4 situation. The Rangers will have a power play in 10 seconds. Amati, the shot saved by Soderstrom, and it trickled in, a knuckleball shot, partially blocked. 3 seconds for the Ranger power play. Leach back to get it, to get the unit out. 1 minute 20 worth of power play now. Rangers have the advantage. Rangers on a power play. Moving down into the corner, Leach. He deflected it. Yuskevich came back to play it. Rangers leading it 2-1. Power play chance for New York. Philadelphia gets the penalty killers out. Richter holds it up. Zubov goes back to get it. What a combination. Zubov and Leach. 4th and 6th among defensemen in scoring in the National Hockey League out there together in the power play points. There's Zubov with it. Zubov sends it high and behind the net, intended for Messier. Messier, Gartner, and Graves on the unit. Deflected back into the corner. The battle for it. Graves over to get it. Graves credited with the first goal, a power play goal. Zubov wide. Rebound Graves. Can't even see it.
Can he shoot? Well, that's the problem when you play against the Rangers. Leach and Zubov, they both have got great shots. They both see the ice very well. They both pass very well. They both skate very well. I mean, not many teams have two guys like them in the league. I can't think of anybody.
Nobody does. Messier's got it. Messier in the middle. Zubov drops it off. Looking. Shot. Soderstrom save and covered. What a chance for the Rangers as they had Philadelphia chasing the puck. Gartner trying to find somebody in front. Soderstrom came out and blocked it.
Well, it was the big standoff, wasn't it, at the OK Corral? Finally, when Mike Gartner got it, it was just Gartner against Soderstrom. But the Rangers have wanted to keep traffic in front. That's what Adam Graves is doing there. Zubov to Gartner. Then it's one-on-one. What Gardner's looking for is somebody to get loose away from the play, away from Soderstrom. And Mark Messier never did get away from Rob Ramage, nor did Adam Graves get away in front. But that's what Gartner is looking for, somebody to pass to here. Finally, he didn't have anybody to pass to, and he realized he was running out of time, and he just had to dump it into the crease in front of Soderstrom.
Gartner with 18 goals, 13 assists. Tommy Soderstrom takes 12 shots so far. Rangers up 2-1, still on the power play for another 14 seconds. And power play chances they've had early in this game, they've been able to hold it in the zone. Leach does it again. Work it up to the middle. Nemchinov running out of time on it. 1 power play over. Leach deflected wide out in front. And Philadelphia at even strength. Now trying to get it out of the zone. Yuskevich clears it out. Rangers 1 for 2 on the power play. Lindros brought it in. Dropped down low. No shot. And no penalty either. Richter down is all right. He gets back up. He got dumped into the back of the net. Lindros waiting out in front. Now comes behind to get it. Backs it off to the corner. Nemchinov is over there. Nemchinov with Faust moving over on him. The flex at center. Rangers were changing up. Nemchinov found nobody with him, so he just turned around, wheeled it in. This is the game without helmets. We've had about 4 helmets come off players' heads so far.
And they haven't just fallen off. They've been ripped off.
Ripped off, yeah. Rolls in.
Fortunately for the players who had their helmets ripped off, the heads came out before the helmets came off.
A couple of times just barely. Yuskevich that last time almost lost his neck. Sent back in wide. Philadelphia completing their line change here. Dineen trying to hold it in. Kevin Lowe took it away from him. Near side for Tony Amati. Amati trying to bang it out of the zone. Baranek was there to bother him and didn't get it out. Good play by Baranek. Brendamore held it in. Dumped down low to Kevin Lowe along the boards. Looking for us at Tikkanen. Tikkanen comes to center. Philadelphia back. Tony Amati with him. 3-on-3 now. No dice, so he sends it around the boards. Amati on the far side. Spun around by Jeff Finley. There have been some good hits. Brendamore out of the zone. Joseph Baranek. Looking on the far side, Dineen for the pass. Dineen cut in. Down they go.
Another helmet. Another helmet. Baranek is off now.
A lot of headhunting going on, and some of that's with sticks. Zubov just kicked a field goal as he put Baranek's helmet all the way over to the Philadelphia bench from the other end of the ice.
He's not looking up at the scoreboard for the points to get up there, is he?
There is a lot of hitting going on in this game. Eric Lindros for the Philadelphia Flyers, who trail by 1. 2-1. On our Bud Light scoreboard, other games going on in the National Hockey League. The Islanders at home against Montreal and Patrick Roy at the 2-0 get. How about Red Hot Dallas at Detroit, 2-2. New Jersey and Washington, a battle there in the division. And late games, including those. Hartford battles for some playoff points. Great to have you with us. Gary Thornville, Clement Elmore again here at Madison Square Garden in New York. Deep freeze sets in the Northeast. They're expecting it to reach some record lows here before the night's over in New York. Down below 0 for the entire weekend, maybe only about 10 above for a high for the next 2 days. Right, I'm going to get back to Maine where it's warm.
Oh, you better get that the sunscreen about the number 8 ready for
That's
Maine, right?
Shot deflected up in the air and into the seats off Jay Wells' stick. 4:27 left here in the first period. We mentioned the wide open game, Billy.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot this season about teams using traps. Not here, huh?
No, guys like Jay Wells and the other Rangers defensemen, I mean, a trap, to best describe it, is a fallback position into the neutral zone with all 5 men trying to force a turnover. Mike Keenan does not play a trap. The Flyers do not play a trap, and that means a little more movement back and forth up and down the ice, and we've seen a lot of that. Sure, we've seen some power plays, but it makes for a lot, I think, a lot greater entertainment value, and I don't think I can get anybody to argue with me. At the same time, I support the teams that have to play that way to win, that have really deficient skill levels. But it makes for a greater entertainment when you've got teams that don't trap and there's a lot more back and forth movement.
There are those towers against one another right there. Messier and Lindros taking the face off. Lindros got the better of that one. Baranek can't get it out of the zone. Held in. New York Rangers trying to pin it in on Philadelphia. They've had the territorial advantage, the Rangers have, for much of this first period. 12-7 the shots in favor of the Rangers. And the Rangers lead it by a score of 2-1. Adam Graves on the power play goal. Gartner short-handed. And then Fettig got his 10th for Philadelphia. Even strength goal to make it 2-1. Messier batted it in. Messier following it up. Tommy Soderstrom has it underneath the pad and hangs on. Joey Koser was there, tried to get it back to Messier. Soderstrom looks strong.
Okay, we talked about no trap for these two teams. Here's what we're talking about. The New York Rangers want to try and establish first-man pressure. There's Gartner. He gets ridden off the play. No sweat. Jay Wells pinching in from the point in a trap. Defensemen don't pinch in like that. Mike Keenan wants to play it aggressively, wants to get his guys forechecking. Terry Simpson, the same thing. He wants 2 guys forechecking as long as they can see the backs of the guys they're forechecking. What that means is when the Rangers turn their skates up ice and get their Rangers logo facing up ice, the Flyers will not be as aggressive on the forecheck because the Rangers are coming at them.
And can fly when they get going. Back there is Jeff Bukaboom. Bukaboom clears it out, chased down at the other end. Malgunas. Jordan Malgunas has played a lot of hockey for the Flyers this season. Conroy going back to get it. Conroy in the so-called 4th line here at Philadelphia. We probably won't see a lot of this line. Tied up by Leach and Bukaboom. They battle along the boards, pushed away by Dave Tippett, the veteran. He goes down. Tippett and Leach. They've seen each other a number of times over the National Hockey League season. Back out center. Rangers changing it up behind the plane. Nemchinov batted it away. Malgunas back to get it. Stuart Malgunas, the 23-year-old, good size. 6-footer, 200 pounds, and he plays even a little bigger than that.
I think he's had a terrific year, Gary, especially because he hasn't tried to do more than he's capable of. Even when the Flyers have been losing, Stu Malgunas has played a good, conservative, solid defensive game. He hasn't tried to do too much. He's been good.
Got a role to play, and he plays it. That's coaches love it when you can do that. 2-1, Rangers leading. Brendamore the other way. They like Brendamore to pick up the scoring pace. He has struggled a bit here of late. Offside called, Rod Brendamore. The East-West Shrine game coming up tomorrow at 8 o'clock Eastern and 5 Pacific. It'll be at the Stanford Stadium in Palo Alto, California. Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried will be there. It's the East College All-Stars against the West for the Shriners Hospital. Since 1925, this game has raised over $13 million for Shriners Hospital for crippled children. You'll see at ESPN tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern. The ever-famous roof, the parquet floor in Boston, the roof of Madison Square Garden. And Esa Tikkanen, another winner. Talk about guys who've won in their careers. He's one of those.
And nothing will rattle Esa Tikkanen. As the games get bigger, he will be an important player. I think his stock will even rise. I mean, he's played in the biggest situations there are, and I'll tell you what, he doesn't shake.
Mike Keenan likes him, so he'll get his ice time. Play back for the Rangers, Doug Lidster. Rangers up here 2-1, 2:27 left to go in the first. We'll update you on all that's going on around the National Hockey League during our first intermission. Steve and Jim take it back at our studios. Have the highlights and game stories for you. Back to center. Lidster goes back to get it. He and Jay Wells are teamed up defensively. Wells, a veteran defenseman at 34 years old. Cleared ahead by Tony Amati into the zone. There's Tikkanen and Faust. Faust tying him up. Dropped it off, though. Rangers with a chance. Behind the net, Gilbert. Greg Gilbert, nowhere to go with it. Finally, just couldn't control the puck. Clear bat out to center. Deneen is centering pass, and he'll change it up. Brendamore will send it in. Rod Brendamore, 12 goals and 32 assists, second leading scorer on the Flyers behind their leader, Mark Recchi, who's picked up 60 points already. Tommy Soderstrom bats it off the boards. A minute 40 left here in the first. There's Brecky right there, Philadelphia's leading scorer, sending it across ice. Renberg. Lindros is out there. Bill, I don't think he's touched the puck. There he is, but we haven't heard much from Eric Lindros.
Not much yet, but Eric Lindros is still not established himself in this league as a puck carrier. I think that will be the next phase of his development. He's been a give-and-go player. To be a dominant center in this league, you know, you got to be a puck carrier.
He's out there in the line right now with Recchi and Renberg. Renberg's centering pass was deflected by Leach and cleared out of the zone to Leach by Gartner. Leach brings it in. Head Manning would have been offside, and in fact was. Came into the zone. 1:09 left to go in the first on ESPN's National Hockey Night and other games going on our Bud Light scoreboard. Islanders still up by 2 there. Now Detroit's taking the lead. That was a 2-2 game. Washington, New Jersey, a later start. They're just getting underway in Washington. Late games tonight. Shots now at 13-7. And there's one of the All-Stars. We've got 7 All-Stars in this game. 4 for the Rangers, 3 for the Philadelphia Flyers. Graves is going to be going. I told you he's 8th among goal scorers in the league right now. And Adam Graves will, of course, get a great round of applause. Messier's got it. Messier will be there, too. Back up, Zubov. And Tommy Soderstrom saying a thank you prayer that he did not get all of that throw that stick.
Yeah, thank you to the stick throw. Sheared it right off at the heel.
Mercy. Brought back. Philadelphia trying to get this thing evened up with under a minute left to go here in this first period. Played behind the net with Sayev. He got pinned up with Sayev out there with Baranek and Renberg. Taking it on the far side for the Rangers. That's the ticket and clears it out. 33 to go in the period. Little dump past Messier. Tried to move it in. Gut dump. No call. Fans wanted it. Won't get it. Raised their ire to Bill McCreary. Rangers control the puck though. Taking it out in front. Messier has to go to the corner. That's a ticket and still there. They look down low for him. Ticket and tried to tip that, but it went through the crease wide, not on goal. There's a penalty coming up as Butsayev hauls down the Ranger in the corner. Lowe trying to put it back up, intercepted. There's the whistle with 8 seconds left. A holding call on Philadelphia.
Any question about this one?
No.
You know, the Flyers got away with the first one, but Slava Butsayev, right in front of Bill McCreary, took Kevin Lowe into the boards. But the Rangers are really a determined hockey team in this game, and for that matter, so are the Flyers. But you can tell the determination that the Rangers have had simply because they've been in the Flyers' end for most of this period. Terrific forechecking. Here's Butsayev.
We've had a rodeo in times.
We've had rodeo. There's a judo takedown. Right before that, look, check this one out. That's Yuskevich and Mark Messier. Almost 2 more helmets. We're up to 6. Almost 2 more helmets off.
Hope these guys all signed waivers to play without helmets this season because they're doing it here tonight.
Mark Messier looks like he's on fire after missing those 6 games with the wrist. He didn't even know how he hurt his wrist. I asked him before the game. He said he hurt it in Florida. It started hurting in the middle of the game. Before he knew it, he couldn't play with it. Ended up being diagnosed with some cartilage damage, and he missed 6 games. But this is his 2nd game back.
Lindros will stay out. Power play for the Rangers. They are 1-4-2 in the power play. They've had 3 power play shots, 3 of their 14. Graves had the power play goal, the first one for the Rangers. Graves and Gartner, who was short-handed, have scored for the Rangers. Bennett has picked up his 10th for Philadelphia. Leach holds it in, the quick shot, deflected out deep. It'll be played by Tippett, and that will do it. First period here at Madison Square Garden, ESPN's National Hockey Night. So, Lindros not putting it up. Messier, a couple of chances, did not get one, did pick up an assist. Rangers 2, Flyers 1. Steve Levy.
All right, Gary Thorne, thanks. Entertaining game at the Garden. Entertaining hockey game tonight at Joe Louis in Detroit, where the Red Wings are taking on the Dallas Stars. Highlights of that one, scores, everything else going on around the league in the new Dodge Intermission Report. That's coming up. Sergei Fedorov, 2nd leading scorer in the NHL, adding to his totals tonight.
Tonight's first intermission report is brought to you by the new Dodge, a division of the Chrysler Corporation.
Hi, everyone. Steve Levy back at our National Hockey Night studios. This is the new Dodge Intermission Report. The game you're enjoying, many of you are enjoying from the Garden in New York. The Rangers leading the Flyers 2-1 after 1. Good one at Joe Louis in Detroit tonight. 5th meeting of the year between the Dallas Stars and the Detroit Red Wings. Highlights of this one for you. In the first period, Sergei Fedorov to Dino Ciccarelli. out in front after some good corner work from the bad angle. It's 1-0 Detroit. Jim?
It's a great play by Fedorov. You'll see Fedorov rounding the net. He makes a great fake, and it's the fake that causes the goal. Watch the puck come here to Fedorov. He's going to fake going long. He makes the pass on the short side, and Cicerelli, top shelf.
Paul Cavallini had scored to make it 1-1. Just 16 seconds after that, number 5, that's Nicholas Lidstrom. Unassisted goal, the far side. That would make it 2-1 Red Wings.
The quickest way down the ice, past the puck and jump to a hole. Here we have Paul Broughton to Shane Churla, not carrying the puck, moving the puck. There's Gilchrist wide open, a great backhand pass. Through the skates to Coffey, pass Osgood, 2-2.
4 goals in 3 minutes and 31 seconds, but here comes Paul Coffey. Coffey, cross-ice Steve Yzerman for the one-timer. You got a feel for Andy Moog. 3-2 Detroit in an explosive first period in that one for Coffey on that goal. That was career assist number 900. Montreal and the Islanders from Nassau Coliseum. That's 18. Marty McInnes crossing in the middle. The shot stopped by Patrick Waugh, but Brad Delgarno, where's the Montreal defense? Delgarno all alone for the goal. That was 46 seconds in. Then 2 Canadian defensemen collide. DiPietro and Odeline. Patrick Flatley to Benoit Hogue for the goal. That made it 2-0 in favor of the Islanders. That's where they stand late in that first period. One other game that's going on right now. They are scoreless early on, New Jersey and Washington at Landover, the Devils and the Capitals. When we come back, we'll take a look at some of the happenings of the first half of this National Hockey League season. Toronto in first place all alone, 59 points. That and much more as National Hockey Night rolls on. And welcome back, everyone. The game most of you are enjoying. The Rangers leading the Flyers 2-1 after 1. This is the new Dodge Intermission Report. Well, we are about halfway. Most teams have played already 42 games this season. Let's take a look at if the season ended today. The old has the season ended today trick. Under the new playoff formula in the East, here's how they stand. It's nice, even split. You get 4 from the Atlantic, 4 from the Northeast. Just in case you were curious, expansion Florida just 2 points out of a playoff spot right now. The West is interesting because you get all 6 teams out of the Central, only 2 from the Pacific. In case you're curious, the Flames you see in second, despite having 2 less points than Dallas, that's because they were in first place in the Pacific. They automatically get 1 of the top 2 seeds. Jim Schoenfeld joining me as always here in the studio. That's for the teams. How about some of the more pleasant or interesting individual stories of this first half?
Well, I think a great story, of course, is Boston's Cam Neely. This is a guy whose career he thought was over. Knee, leg injuries, 2 years of really intense rehab. He's back now. He's played 26 games. Folks, this guy has 29 goals. Right now, he is the best scorer in the National Hockey League. And their rivals, the Buffalo Sabres, this guy was a forgotten name, not even on the roster. When you think of the Sabres, you think of Grant Fuhr. Dominic Hasek is the guy. This guy has played so spectacularly. He has lifted Buffalo Sabres with him. Right now, he has 5 shutouts. He has a 1.96 goals against average, a save percentage of .929. He is Mr. Everything in Buffalo. He is very unorthodox. You really don't have a definition of a style for this guy, but he's doing one very important thing, keeping the puck in front of him.
That's right. The Panthers, I mentioned before, just 2 points out of a playoff spot right now. It is interesting to note that 4 of the 5 most recent expansion teams just not giving up a lot of goals. You see a look at the chart. They are in the top half of allowing the least amount of goals per game. The team you do not see there is Ottawa. They are way off the page. They were dead last, so they don't help our argument, giving up 4.74 goals per game. But you see Florida right there with the Roger Nielsen style. And, Jim, it's funny. A couple of years ago, us media types got excited about the NFL let us in on the red zone. When players got in the within the 20-yard line, they call it the red zone. We felt like we were more involved in the game. Well, the new thing in hockey this year, everybody's talking about, is this 1-2-2 trap. And all of a sudden, it's a new brilliant idea, and that's the reason these teams aren't giving up a lot of goals. What about it?
Stevie, this is brand new. This started in Montreal with Jacques Lemaire in the mid-'80s. And it all is good, sound defensive play. It's giving it out, shutting down the ice, making your opponent make a wide pass, but it doesn't work unless you have great goaltending. Whenever you play defensive hockey, you're going to spend a lot of time in your own zone. If you look at the teams that are doing well, that play the trap, their save percentage is well over the 900 mark. So their goaltenders are getting a lot of shots, but they are making the big saves.
All right, and continuing our theme with this first half of the National Hockey League season, there, of course, was the terrible referee strike along with the linesmen. They have since come back, but there was an ugly incident to take a look at from last Sunday night. This past Sunday night, Dallas playing at St. Louis. Rick Zombo, you see, he runs into linesman Kevin Collins, and then the chop at Collins. What this did was lead to a goal by Mike McPhee. That turned out to be the game-winning goal in that game. Zombo was suspended indefinitely. He will have a hearing on Monday. Originally, you give him the benefit of the doubt. It looked like it was just a collision, which happens all the time in the league. But then you see a two-handed chop to an official. That's serious stuff.
Listen, it's taboo. You just cannot do it. The last time a player had an incident with official was Tom Lysiak with the Chicago Blackhawks, and he pulled the feet out of a linesman, Ron Foyt. He was suspended for 20 games. Now, this is a new administration, but this administration has been very harsh in handing out suspensions, so we'll wait and see what kind of suspension Zombo gets.
Zombo might wind up getting more than he deserves just to show the rest of the league you can't go near our on-ice officials. That's the way it is right now. National Hockey League, ESPN, our coverage continues. We'll come back and have much more right after these messages. Welcome back, everyone, to the new Dodge Intermission Report. After one period of play, Rangers leading the Flyers in New York by a score of 2-1. I am sorry to say we will not be with you for just another National Hockey League game next Friday night. However, I'm happy to say it is All-Star Friday, and we've got it for you here on National Hockey Night. Remember Ray Bourque? Make no mistake, in the accuracy department last year, nailing 4 targets on 4 chances, winning his second straight title. Actually argued about it. He did get that all 4 of them. Mike Gardner at 33, the best legs in the NHL, at least in hockey fans. And Al Iafrate showed everyone he's no pushover, the hardest shot award. All for you, National Hockey Night. Next week, the skills competition, also the Legends game. Watch people skate around Jim Schoenfeld, just like the good old days. 7:30 Eastern. Make plans to be with us here on National Hockey Night. As far as our game is concerned, Mike Gardner, talk about legs, the speed, the shorthanded goal. That gave the Rangers a 2-0 lead. Flyers have scored 2-1 after 1. Second period is coming up from the Garden with Gary and Bill right after this.
ESPN's exclusive coverage of National Hockey Night is brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this? By Visa, official card and traveler's check of the 1994 Olympic Winter Games. And by Chevrolet, who invites you to see all the new Chevy cars for 1994.
And welcome back, Madison Square Garden in New York. And the New York Rangers have treated their home crowd to a first period lead. 2-1 at the end of 1. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, and Al Morganian. Delighted to have you with us. Rangers are playing the way we have seen them play before, Bill. And when they play like this, Philadelphia's got a workload.
I thought the Flyers came out with a real energetic outlook. I mean, I thought they were terrific in the early going, but the Rangers just seemed to swamp them. It could be a long night for the Flyers because the New York Rangers, they wanted to establish something, and one of the things they wanted to establish was traffic in front of Tommy Soderstrom. Boy, did they do that. Even on the power play is where they wanted to do it, as well as even strength. And watch this. On one of the goals that the Rangers scored, it went Leach to Zubov. This may be a double tip. They credit it to Adam Graves, but it looks like Messier tipped it, and then Graves in front. Yeah, that qualifies as traffic, and they want to do that even on the power play. At even strength, same kind of deal. Here's Mike Gardner waiting for somebody. Look at the traffic in front of Tommy Soderstrom. It's going to be a long night for Tommy Soderstrom, especially because of the traffic and also because of the shooters. Watch his shot by Zubov. He breaks a stick on it. You think there isn't any torque? Look at that stick bend. He took a lot of ice, busted his stick on the play. Tommy Soderstrom went, thank you, I got away with that one just because his stick broke.
Very happy that did not come in. All right, the Rangers now, we get underway here, have a power play. 1:46 remaining on the penalty that came late for the Flyers. Gartner's got it. Power play Rangers. Brought in by Messier. Messier goes back to the point. Leach will be working back there with Zubov. Ranger power play. They have gone thus far 1-4-2. This is their third of the game. Zubov shot deflected. Tommy Soderstrom never saw that. He was screened in front. Graves is down low on him. Zubov again drops it off to Leach. Power play Rangers. Zubov shot deflected wide. Nowhere close to the net on that one. Messier working in the corner for it. Back up for Zubov to Leach. One-timer. Save right on net. Tommy Soderstrom perfectly positioned. Messier again. Messier looking. They've got Gartner and Graves in the low slot area. They're leaving Graves now in front of Tommy Soderstrom. Messier moves in on the weak side post. Gartner goes back to the point. Zubov's got it. Zubov Leach. One-timer deflected again by the defense. Philadelphia clears it out.
The only thing that stopped the Rangers on that play, both times from getting an overload situation in front, the shots didn't get through. But the Rangers are doing what they did in the first period. You mentioned Graves and Gartner in front. All Leach and Zubov have to do is get it through. All the Flyers forwards that are killing the penalty have to do is try and stop him from getting it through. So that's one of the matchups right now, is those forwards killing the penalty, just trying to keep the shot from getting through.
Leach able to get it back in the zone. 25 seconds remaining on the power play chance here. Rangers power play goal. Graves picked it up in the first period. Zubov drops it off. Played there by Tony Amati. That unit out for the New York Rangers. Shot deflected by Gary Galley. Cleared out. Brendamore coming short-handed. 10 seconds to the Philadelphia penalty. He gets stripped to the puck. Zubov was there to take it away. Back over to Leach. Right out through center. Took it in. Tipped it away. On the far side, Leach goes down. He's all right. Tipped over the net. Behind the play, Leach got up slowly as he got leveled at center, but he is all right. Penalty is over, so the Rangers 1 for 3 in the power play. 5 shots on the power plays they have had thus far tonight. Whistle, delayed call on the offside. Rangers leading 2-1 underway in the second. With us downstairs, Al Morganti.
Well, Gary, at least in the short term, Terry Simpson's blackboard session worked in the Flyers locker room between periods. He went over the penalty killing, afraid too much movement on that Rangers power play in the Flyers zone, so they spent the first half of their intermission worrying about that Rangers power play. Appeared to work, at least in the short term. Gary?
Yeah, I agree, Al. And you know what's happened is the Rangers have changed what they have done the last time since the Flyers played them the last time. Now what they're doing, as we mentioned, is just overloading in front, trying to get Zubov or Leach to get the puck through. So Terry Simpson knows if the shot is going to come from Zubov or Leach, it's imperative that the 2 top guys in the penalty killing unit of the 4 men always try to line up between Zubov in the net, between Leach in the net. And the Flyers have obviously come out here wanting to rack them up against the boards again. Watch this. Rod Brind'Amour on Brian Leach. Wow, when he rammed into the brace that holds the glass. Brian Leach is down. His stick is actually caught up under his jersey.
And amazingly, he got up, pulled the stick out from underneath the jersey, and skated away. He is all right. What a dangerous-looking situation for Brian Leach.
That's why they have pretty good padding on the edges of the glass now.
Wow, head first into it. All right, we're back to even strength here, with the Rangers leading it. Graves from Zubov and Messier. Gartner from Lowe and Nemchinov. Gave the Rangers a 2-0 lead in the first. Fedek at 5:52 from Brendamore and Galley. Got him on the board. Shot by Gartner was deflected back to the line. Held in and dumped down low. Rangers again territorially keeping the heat on as Lidster held it in again. Lidster shot deflected deep outside by Nemchinov. Nemchinov looking to the front of the net. They're sending Nick Kypreos up in front. Jammed up in the corners. Rob Ravage is over there for Philadelphia, number 5. Ravage trying to pin it up there, could not. Nemchinov's got it. Lindros on him. Lindros, Nemchinov. Battle along the boards. Racine over with Gardner. Lindros finally able to drive it away to center. Good work by Lindros to get the puck out. Penalty coming at center on Philadelphia. Lindros trailing the play. Took a shot at Nick Kypreos. And a power play will be coming up as he's going to sit for 2.
Well, Lindros is off for the Flyers, and I don't know what they're going to call it, maybe interference, but he really torqued Nick Kypreos. There is Lindros along the boards fighting for the puck. He's actually going to win the battle finally and started up ice. He was battling with Sergei Nemchinov, and when Lindros finally started coming up ice, just watch Lindros. He is trailing the play. Watch how he torques Nick Kypreos. He jumped behind him and he tried to screw him into the ice, and Nick just went down, but that was a good call by McCreary. Very often those don't get spotted behind the play.
Lindros for holding at 3:06. New York Rangers 1 for 3 on the power play. Leading it here by a score of 2-1. Let's see what they do with it. Gardner dropped it off in the corner. Conroy on the penalty killing unit. Yaskevich was over. Rangers getting the power play chance. Remember, the best power play in the league. Philadelphia doesn't want to do a lot of that. Zubov's got it. Zubov back. Leach. Had nobody open. Leach, one-timer, deflected in on Soderstrom, and he hangs on.
Why, as long as the Flyers are a man short, it is going to be a long night for Tommy Soderstrom with the amount of traffic he's got in front of him.
Our Miller Lite league leaders on ESPN's National Hockey Night. Here's one of the special lists in the National Hockey League for you. On the power play, the New York Rangers, number 1, Buffalo. L.A., Boston, Detroit, and St. Louis, the top of the pile in effectiveness on power plays thus far this season. It certainly has helped the Rangers. They were 17th last year on the power play, all the way from 17th to 1st this year. Rangers missed the playoffs last year for only the 2nd time last 16 seasons, so they want in. Philadelphia hasn't been in the last 3, so they desperately want to get back in. Power play shot, Gardner wide. Soderstrom was screened, cleared out by Dave Tippett. Rangers, that activity Bill's been talking about in front of the net. Tommy Soderstrom on 3 or 4 occasions tonight has had shots taken. He had no idea that the shot was even taken. Well, that's where it was.
Rule number 1, remain calm, try to stay in the middle of the net, and then hope that they hit you.
And the last one did. Rangers still with the advantage here. 50 seconds remaining on the power play. Leach sends it in. Soderstrom goes back to get it. Yaskevich is there up the boards and off Messier's stick. The center. Rangers will change up. Way out of the net. Richter came out. Now he's got to hurry up, get back. Galley! Oh, he wasn't back, but it was high.
He was trying the drop shot. It looked like a knuckler, and it looked like it was going over Richter, and it had a chance to dip down into the net. But Phil Niekro.
Richter came all the way out to the top of the circle that last time. Played by, short-handed, Gary Galley. Galley around the boards, not out of the zone. Down to 20 on the power play. Dineen gets it out, the team captain of Philadelphia. And the Rangers will chase down, and they'll have time for one more rush here. Brendamore from the forecheck's done a good job with the short-handed unit. Zubov's got it. Zubov brings it up. Gary Galley stands him up and then knocks him down. Rangers still have it as a ticket and centering pass back to Zubov. Penalty's over. Full strength. Lindros out. Shot deflected. Did not get in on net as Tikkanen knocked it down before it got there. Recchi over to get it. 1 for 4 in the power play for the Rangers. Low cleared it up. Rangers back, even strength now. Amati gets tied up against the boards by Gary Galley. Spun around in the zone, Jeff Finley. Finley trying to bat it out. Ran into trouble there. Rangers take advantage of it. Held in momentarily, lost. Picked up by Renberg. Michael Renberg. Great rookie season for him. Recchi to Renberg. Tried to tip it in. He didn't get a stick on it. Rangers will clear it out. Tony Amati up ice and in. Pace continues. Real strong pace in this game. Both teams going up and down the ice in a hurry, trying to create offensive chances. As opposed to what we talked about, we've seen a lot this season in the National Hockey League, that clutch and grab style.
But what shows you that both of these teams are really mentally prepared to play this, there have been only a couple of odd-man breaks. Mike Gardner had a broken play breakaway, and that was just a broken play. The Rangers had 1 2-on-1 that Maldunas broke up in the first period, and the Flyers just had a 3-on-2. That's been it. And with this up-and-down action, that tells you they're mentally prepared.
That one ripped wide on the shot by Greg Gilbert. That means the defensemen are getting back to down low. Shot, score, Leach! Leach! Soderstrom out of the net.
Well, he is not the New York Rangers' leading scorer for nothing, but most of his points have come on assists. This time, Nemchinov with a perfect pass out to Brian Leach. And this is a man that has not scored in 10 games, but that is goal number 13 for Brian Leach. And the Rangers lead it. Oh, man, did he pick it? That is such a hard spot to hit because you got to go up and over the blocker glove. And if you don't get it right into the top of the net, you don't get it there at all. Terrific shot by Brian Leach, 3-1 Rangers.
Brian Leach, his 13th of the season, his team leading 43rd point. Even strength goal, and the Rangers have a 3-1 lead. How much did they miss him last year? He played only 36 games last year, 6 goals, 30 assists. This season he's playing all the time, and the Rangers are second best in the league.
We'll be back at our National Hockey Night studios. Joe Louis in Detroit tonight, the Red Wings and the Dallas Stars. Greg Johnson, the great pass to Mike Sillinger, sends him in all alone, and he does the rest. 4-2 Detroit.
Detroit picking it up after a game they lost to Tampa Bay on Tuesday that Scotty Bowman wasn't happy with. Leach getting his 13th from Nemchinov and Gilbert at 6:23 on the last goal, and now Dineen gets the stick up in the corner with Kyprios.
There were only a couple of players in the NHL that had more fights last year than Nick Kyprios when he played in Hartford, so I'm kind of surprised that Nick just didn't drop him and go for it. You know, we talked about Brian Leach's goal, and I mentioned that it's a hard shot to shoot it up and over the blocker side. Well, I'll tell you, we got an angle of it that might not be an absolute true angle, but still, from behind him, look what he was looking at.
Not much.
Well, all he needed was 1/3 because those are the dimensions of the puck. And this is after a hit that Brian Leach took earlier this period. This is how the Flyers started. Brendamore watched Leach run up against that brace that holds the pane of glass there. Oh! He looked like he had been speared right through with his stick. When he got up, his stick was actually caught up in his jersey. Whew.
Just got up, kept on going, and now has added a goal to it. Ray Bork, Al McGinnis, Jeff Brown, Brian Leach, the top 4 scoring defensemen in the National Hockey League. Joseph Baranek kicked into the zone, back to get it to Zubov. And the Flyers, halfway through this game, have put only 1 goal up on the board. That continues to be a concern. Richter had that one under the armpit. He knocked down enough of it so it did not go in. He wasn't sure where it was. Tikkanen comes the other way. As the Tikkanen looking to the middle. His shot saved by Tommy Soderstrom. Tikkanen got his own rebound behind the net and then got hauled down for the effort as Malgunas was in there. That shot by the Flyers at the other end that Richter had is their first shot of the period. It took them 7 minutes of the second period to get a shot. They're being outshot here 21-8 and a little frustrated as well. A little help from the officials to separate. Steve Levy.
Gary Thorne, thanks. Devils and Capitals, our first look at this one for you. Late first period, they were scoreless. Scott Stevens, watch this cannon with all sorts of traffic in front of the net, all sorts of tips and deflections by Rick Tabaracci. That's a bad goal back to the Garden.
Late start there for that game, Washington and New Jersey.
Boy, it has been that kind of game here. Tons of contact, people all over the place. At least this period, we haven't seen any helmets ripped off. That's Tikkanen taking Stu Malgunas into the boards. We talked about the importance of this game from both sides. I mean, the Rangers have been in a slump. The Flyers are trying to continue to come out of a slump and are in a playoff spot right now. They got to try to keep it going, and both of these teams have come out just jacked up for this one.
8 teams will go from each conference. Right now, the Rangers lead the Eastern Conference. Philadelphia is ranked 5th in the conference. Recchi on the near side. The Rangers lead here 3-1. Kevin Lowe around the boards. Rangers trying to get out of their own end. Gilbert, who got an assist on that last goal, clears it. Nemchinov brings it in on the near side. Sergei Nemchinov batted away. Nemchinov celebrating his 30th birthday today. And the puck's up against the boards. Nobody's able to kick it out. Gary Galley, Gartner, Nemchinov, Lindros. Lindros finally came free, but he couldn't hold it. So the Rangers will have to clear the zone. They do, and they just send it right back in. Jeff Finley goes back to get it. The Orange Rangers up here. They've had a 2-goal lead now twice in this game. Zubov back in his own end. Zubov at center for Gartner. Gartner has got a short-handed goal, 5 on the season for him. Sweat back to center. Philadelphia trying to get it trying to get to within 1. Faust brings it in. Faust looking. Faust center. Right through the crease. Lindros was on the pipe, but his stick was being held up in the air by Brian Leach. Rangers converted the other way. Messier cutting to the middle. Shot. That was ripped wide. Messier the screen for Kovalev. Kovalev got up a good quick wrist shot that time as Messier went in front of him. Brian Leach sends it in. Sometimes we forget, though, Brian Leach can play defense. He doesn't just score.
I don't think he has really rushed the puck and penetrated the offensive zone as often as he has in the past, and I think that's part of Mike Keane and this one. But Brian Leach is still leading this team in total points, and he's a better defensive defenseman I think than he's ever been.
That one saved by Richter. Rebound shot saved by Richter again as Renberg ran it in on him. Renberg gets it back in the corner as the hits continue on the far side. Jammed up behind the net. Faust to Messier. Messier grabs a hold of him. Faust grabs his stick. Messier puts it behind the net. One has been wide open right from the beginning and still is.
As every fast-talking DJ ever said, and the hits just keep on coming.
And they are. 2 teams just close enough geographically to build up a real nice rivalry over the years. Joseph Baranek sends it in. Wells going back to get it. Wells backed it up along the boards. That's a Tikkanen. Tikkanen hit by Dineen. Puck came free, squirted out. Nick Kiprios got it out of the zone. Controlled by Malgunas back at center. Tipped in by Brenda Moore. Wide of the net. Brenda Moore doing battle still along the boards as he got tied up with Doug Lidston. They separate without the officials having to move in. Gary Galley's got it. Galley tipped away to Dineen. Dineen tried to send it in. Ended up dumping it into his own bench. 9:51 left to go in the second period. Madison Square Garden. Rangers leading at 3-1 on National Hockey Night. Rangers leading the Flyers 3-1. What you got, Al Morganti?
Well, Gary, another one of those quick repairs in the NHL. Dmitry Yushkevich, skate blade problem, ran out. A matter of about 3 or 4 minutes, got him a new blade put on. Back on, he's putting it on the bench now as we speak, ready to go out on the ice. Gary?
Right, you know, one of the changes and one of the advancements in the skate technology, they used to have to replace the blade and the plastic casing that it actually attaches it onto the boot, and that meant replacing about 16 rivets. Now the metal part of the blade, there are 2 screws or 2 little bolts that come out. The metal part is changeable. The plastic part stays riveted to the boot, and that's why players can get back a lot quicker now.
Slide it in, slide it out. There you go.
Exactly right.
There's Lindros. Lindros trying to hold it in on the far side. Could not as Gilbert got it out. Sent back in and deflected deeper into the corner by Gilbert. Chased down by Jay Wells. There's Recchi without his helmet, number 7 on the game. Cleared back up. Lindros, his shot. That did not get in on goal. Galley center shot and score! Recchi! Great centering pass by Gary Galley in front. And the tip in the upper corner. And credit Brent Fedek. It was Fedek who was there to make it a 3-2 game.
Man, he has been all over Mike Richter when they can get in the zone. Remember, Brent Fedek scored the first period goal. Lindros get an assist on this one. He drilled it toward Mike Richter. Check out the Rangers, though. They left the front of the net completely open. Man, did Fedek thread that. Lindros will get an assist on this one, and I think that Mark Recchi will get the other one because it comes right over to Recchi. But here's what happens when you start the transition too quickly. The Rangers thought they had the puck out of the zone, and we're all thinking offense. Whoop, not so fast. Lindros cuts it at the blue line, and it was a 2-on-none in front of Richter.
So they're right back in it again, and you can see Fedek giving it the old yes.
Well, it's been a tough year for Brent Fedek, too. As we mentioned, he has even been out of the lineup as a healthy scratch.
Only got 10 goals on the season, but a big one right there as it's a 3-2 lead. Gary Galley worked it from the corner, put it right on his stick, and he didn't hesitate. Renberg's got it. Philadelphia trying to get it tied up. Renberg the shot. Deflected by Wells over the glass and into the seats. 9:02 to go in the second, and the Rangers lead cut to 1.
You know, we have talked about Michael Renberg as being the second leading rookie scorer in the NHL for a very good reason. He is Mr. Consistent for the Flyers. All of the team has gone in and out of slumps. Michael Renberg, the longest he has gone at one stretch without scoring a goal, 4 games. And that has only happened once. He's gone 3 a few times, but it's like every second time you pick up a line score, an agate, there's his name. He has not had many multiple goal games, but he has really been a consistent performer for the Flyers.
We were mentioning even for a veteran to be that consistent is very strong. For a rookie, even stronger.
That's terrific. He led the team in scoring in camp, then he struggled in the early going, and he was really starting to press. Finally, he got his first one, and away he's gone. But 4 games is the longest he's gone without a goal this year. That's consistent.
Fedek, who got the last one, has 11 on the season. Galley and Recchi have been credited with the assists at 10:45. Gary Galley, 4th among defensemen in scoring, and overall 10th in assists. He's added another to it. Viskevich's shot with his new skates deflected out deep all the way to center. Send it into the wide side. Tony Amani dumped it in. Driven a little deeper by Nick Kypreos, who's getting a lot of ice time here tonight. Kypreos out there with Amani and Essa Tikkanen on that line. Joseph Baranek had to come back to get it. Good pass to Brendamore. Brendamore drops it, heads to the net. Deneen shot. Mike Richter made the save. Baranek was there to partially block it. The Rangers were able to get it out. This will be an icing call. They waved it off. It'll be played at the far end. Malgunas had to go back to get it. They felt he could have. Shot by Graves. He missed it on the short side. See if Philadelphia can get it out here. They do, so that inability to pick up the icing does not cost them. Kevin Lowe back at his own end. Lowe, the 34-year-old, still out there cruising with the youngsters as far as ice time is concerned. Brendamore over to get it. Zubov there. Centering pass will roll in. Richter off for Messier. Messier waiting. Both teams getting changes completed here. Messier sends it in.
You know, you mentioned Kevin Lowe. It's tough enough to play when you're 24 if you have a bad cold or the flu. And talked to so many people, and I'm one of them that's had that cold that won't go away. Kevin Lowe has had the flu and a bad chest for the last couple of months. He has still been able to play effectively at 34, and believe me, it's even tough when you're 24.
Boy, that flu this year has been for everybody a real disaster, and the Rangers have had it run through their team. Not an excuse, but one of the reasons they're 5-5 in the last 10 is the fact they've had one player after another down. Near side, Gary Galley. Galley shot deflected wide. 7:30 to go in the second. There's Lindros. Lindros spun around. Lindros still going after it. Lindros and Messier were tied up. Richter right at the side of the net. Right on the post, in fact, preserves the 3-2 lead. The 2 big guys went at it. Steve Levy.
Gary, thanks. The Stars in Detroit tonight in a bunch of ways. 4-2 Wings in the second. Sergei Fedorov just wears out Paul Cavallini, top shelf on Moog. So it's now 5-2. Back to the Garden.
Yeah, but the problem for Sergei Fedorov is he needs so much time to tee it up and to jam it up into the top of the net. What was that, about 0.02 seconds? What an athlete.
He's chasing Wayne Gretzky still for the lead. Gretzky jumped ahead of him by 5 points over the last couple of games. There are the shots on. The Rangers with the distinct advantage thus far in the game, but Philadelphia over the last 5 minutes has started to pick up territorially and keeping that puck in their offensive zone. 7:21 left here in the second. Tommy Soderstrom in net.
In the net, actually in the net.
He loves to get underneath that post on the faceoff. Now, the faceoff's at the other end.
Yeah.
And he stays way in the net until they drop the puck. He watches the play, and until it starts coming up through center, he doesn't move out. 2-on-1 break. Rangers in. That's a ticket. Winds up. Fakes. Takes. Score! He got it off to the wide side. Mike Hudson gets the goal.
Well, that's the one thing that Terry Simpson and his Flyers had to guard against. We talked about how few odd man rushes there have been in this game, but the Rangers have a clean 2-on-1 on this one. Look at Jeff Finley. He goes in to try to pinch in, or Yves Racine at least, and he overskated the puck. Here comes Tikkanen. He's got Mike Hudson on the far side, and Hudson just got it in. Mike Hudson is one of the players that Coach Mike Keenan said, hey, listen, he's got to play it. He's got to produce more for us. I don't care if he's a third-line center. He is playing enough to produce, and doesn't Hudson come through with a goal?
What a setup by Esa Tikkanen that time, who faked the shot and put it over. Hudson gets just his second goal of the year, 12:48.
Here's how it happened. Right off the face-off, Yves Racine tries to come in, and his own player tipped it by him. That's what happened to Racine. Oh, man, well executed by Tikkanen. Look, I mean, Soderstrom has to play the shot. He is hoping that his defenseman, Rob Ramage, will play the pass. But Tikkanen made that one tough on everybody with that fake.
Thank you very much, says his teammate Mike Hudson coming over. Finley now wants a little revenge here for the rest of this game. Rangers 4 and the Flyers 2. Face-off will be to the left of Tommy Soderstrom. Rangers get their 4th goal on their 23rd shot of the game. And the Rangers, who had had only 9 goals in the last 5 games, and who lost 5-2 their last game on Monday against Tampa Bay, they picked up 4 already in this one, and we're still in the second period. Zubov chasing it down behind the net. Oops. Brendamore colliding as Lowe pushes him away from his goaltender. Brendamore collided with Richter rather gently, actually. And Brendamore saying, wait a minute, you pushed me into him, Kevin. That's what he's arguing about. ESPN2's Fire on Ice coming up this week, Tuesday, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. The St. Louis Blues take on these New York Rangers. Brad Hull, last 4 seasons, averaging 70 goals, picking the pace up. And you've seen Mark Messier here tonight, averaging 99 points over the last 2 seasons. They'll be going at it on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, the St. Louis Blues again take on the Philadelphia Flyers. Hull now with 30 goals and 25 assists. And Eric Lindros, who you're seeing here tonight, will be at it. St. Louis being led right now by the guys they expect to be led by. Hull tied for second in the league in goals, and Shanahan for 5th.
Yep, real quietly, Brett Hull has snuck up into the second spot. There's Gary Galley sitting on the bench. He'll be playing in the All-Star game, his second appearance. You know, in 1991, Mike Milbury coached the Bruins. He named Galley and Chris Nyland as fills, as guys to play in the All-Star game. There was such an outcry because Chris Nyland was named as well as Gary Galley, but the committee was formed to choose. Well, Gary Galley feels vindicated because the committee this year chose Gary Galley to play in the All-Star game, and he deserves to be in there too.
Does he ever? 4th leading defensive scorer in the National Hockey League, so having a great year. Intercepted at center. Rangers will be dumped in by Vukovic. Iskevich goes back to get it. 6:26 left to go. Full house here at Madison Square Garden. And great to have you with us wherever you are in our ESPN National Hockey Night. Virtually all of our games second half on Hockey Night will be on Friday night. So if you're looking for us, that's where we'll be most of the time, and otherwise we'll let you know. Tipped off at the side of the net. Played there by Tommy Soderstrom. Up the boards. Vranic clears it out through center. Brendamore brings it up. 3rd time in this game, Philadelphia's been down 2 goals. They come back twice. See if they can do it again. Vranic tipped it away to center. Backed up behind the net. Malgunas. Oh, he got a shot off. There's Malgunas. Oh, he hit his own man in the face. Stuart Malgunas trying to dump the puck in.
He got Rod Brind'Amour.
Brind'Amour caught that right in the face off his teammate's stick.
I think Rod Brind'Amour was screened on the play, and the screen disappeared. Oh, man. Well, noses and teeth and lips and all those things heal. Sometimes eyes don't. And Rod Brind'Amour doesn't wear a face shield. Take a look at it. There's Brind'Amour here. He tried to stop it on the play, and it just went back to Malgunas. So Brind'Amour was just waiting for it. Oh, it banked off the boards, and you know, Rod Brindamore looked to his right to see what was out in front of the net, which all smart players do, so that when they get the puck, they know what's awaiting them in front of the net. But did he get dinged? He turned around, and there it was. So we'll just hope for the best with Rod Brindamore. Well, if you don't like seeing guys get hit in the face, look away, because we have a super slow-mo look at this. Stu Malgunas off the boards, and it looks like it hits Rod Brindamore right between the eyes.
So he was helped off, walked off. And we'll see whether or not he's able to get back Al down there. El Morganti with us tonight, down by the locker room to check in with him. Zubov brings it up. Rangers leading 4-2. Zubov in. Gardner set the screen up. Tony Soderstrom kicked it away. Jammed up the boards by Jeff Finley. Rangers able to hold it in. Nemchinov dumped it down behind the net. Good game tonight for Greg Gilbert. Also getting some ice time out there tonight. Gilbert helped out the Rangers offensively here. Picked up a point. That'll be cleared in wide. Philadelphia changing it up. Richter goes back to get it. Wrapped it around the boards and cleared out.
Anytime there's a strong forechecking game and a hitting game, it really helps a guy like Greg Gilbert, because that's his game. If it's a rush game, if it's a finesse game, Greg Gilbert won't be that big a factor, but this is his kind of game, boy.
And I'm sure that's one of the reasons he is dressed for tonight's game. They expected this kind of game. Rob Ramage, who hadn't played his 3 games out there as well, and he plays that kind of game. Leach going back to get it. Leach circling, tied up, dropped it off Philadelphia. Renberg, they got a chance here. In the offensive zone, the Philadelphia Flyers, but can't convert. Tipped away, spun around quickly behind the net. Back to get it is Gutsayev. Gutsayev left it on the near side boards. Faust doing battle. Renberg's got it. The rookie heads to the net as he dumps it in behind, but again, Rangers are there. They're playing tough. Renberg with the sticks up along the boards.
Man, did Renberg ever swing at Kovalev? And you know, McCurley was right in front of them. Kovalev looked like he got his stick up on Renberg. Renberg took the great big two-handed swing that missed, but even if it misses, those are usually called.
They let both of those go for each player. And now along the boards, it's heading up during the change. There's Messier who got knocked down. He was checking the Philadelphia bench. He stays up and goes after Baranek. Baranek saw it coming and turned the other way. As the hitting continues, Rangers up by 2. Philadelphia trying to get it cut back. Cleared up the center. Conroy gives chase. Conroy with Nemchinov. Will be played by Yuskevich behind the net. Dmitry Yuskevich, the 22-year-old defenseman. Along the boards, Philadelphia trying to connect at center. Get the offense going, Camp. Litzner just cleared it back. Rangers completing a line change here. Played along the boards. Racine was there for Philadelphia. Rangers put the rush on to try and hold it in. Blitz with the defenseman stepped up. Conroy took it away. Conroy sends it around the board. Rangers, Jay Wells stepped up. Wells gets knocked down by Deneen. Tony Amati gets hit behind the net. Rangers turn around shot as a second on that one deflected.
Talk about pinches. Both Litzner and Wells pinched to the hash marks on this shift.
All the way up. Litzner's shot. That was wide. Deneen and Wells. Wells head first into the boards. Lean check 2-on-1 the other way. Baranek in shot. Save Richter. Rebound is loose side of the net. Richter reaches. Head covers up.
Hey, Gary, this is as close as I've seen to playoff brand hockey this year. If anything, somehow the hitting is picked up in this period. What a terrific squash by Kevin Deneen on Jay Wells on the boards. Man, here it is. There's Jay Wells again pinching in. I mean, the Rangers really aggressive with their defensemen, but because Jay Wells pinched in like that, here's what happened. The 2-on-1 for the Flyers. Renberg decided to shoot. Richter didn't give him anything on the short side.
And he
Baranek, rather. It wasn't Renberg.
Almost lost control of it, but covered up. Wells, when he went against the board, you saw he got his arm out. Otherwise, he would have hit a header into the boards, but he got the arm up. There's a veteran with all kinds of numbers. Oh, look at those penalty minutes.
They still remember him in the Spectrum. You know why? When he played for the Flyers, he built a stick rack. He loves carpentry. They still use the stick rack.
You pointed that out on games from Philadelphia. It is still there along the bench. A 4-2 Ranger lead, 2:40 to go. Second period, shots are 24-14 in favor of the Rangers. Only one penalty this period, a holding call on Lindros, and there he is with the puck. Eric Lindros starts it up for the Philadelphia Flyers. His shot deflected out deep. Comes to the near side boards. Rangers has done a good job holding Lindros off the play. Leach and Tikkanen, for the most part, have done the work. Gilbert had it poke checked away by Galley. And they did clear the zone. They're onside. Nemchinov centering pass. Galley missed him as Nemchinov went by. Now Lindros picks it up. Eric Lindros will hit man up. Blue line and in. Lindros dropped it off and heads to the net. Renberg got tied up behind the net. Fedek rather did. Fedek left it. Lindros spun around, couldn't get to it. 1:57 left to go, second period. Wide open, good, hard-hitting hockey game. These teams meeting for the second time. Messier in. Messier dropped it off down low. Shot deflected. Leach was there, but it hit the back of Adam Graves. Leach trying to hold it in, did, and then lost it. All over the place. Brian Leach dropped. Lindros centering pass. Again, Leach was there to knock it away as Pouch was cutting in on the right wing. Graves trying to get it out of the zone. Tips to center. Malgunas back. And at 25 left here in the second period. It is flying by. Leach brings it in. Leach drops it. Shot. Graves wide. Messier sent it deeper into the corner. And Chino cutting to the net. Kovalev behind it. Held on to Leach. Leach waiting. Shot deflected wide. Graves again was set up in front trying to screen. Faust able to clear it out of the zone for Philadelphia. Rangers up by 2, a minute to go in the period. Leach intercepted. Is he ever going to leave the ice? Yes, he goes now. Has a taken a shot. Missed it. Short side. Both teams changing. Wells and Dineen doing battle. Graves moves over on Yuskevich. In the corner. Malgunas takes down Esatikinen. Gets put on the near side with the puck is Tony Amati. Amati knocked down. Gets back up. Amati pinned up. Finally, Woodsayev let him go as the puck squirted free. Esatikinen had it in his skates. Just sent it back. They do circling in the corner here. Woodsayev again moving in, putting the hit on Nick Kyprios in front. Amati waiting, whistle, hang on. A holding call coming up, and I think it's going to be on the Rangers.
Yeah, offensive holding, if you will.
In front of the net. Well, there's the circle game being played, Bill. Wasn't a lot that came of it, but some pretty good hits were made there.
Well, it started out to be a pick, and then it turned into a hold for Esatikinen, and I think he was just trying to give Tony Amati some time. Some terrific work by this line of Kyprios and Amati and Tikkanen. There's Tikkanen number 10, and he was picked. Did you see the pick? And then it turned into a little bit of a hold, I guess.
He's going to go. 5 of the 8 penalties have been for holding here in this game. Injury update. How's it going down there, Al?
Well, Gary, there's good news and bad news for Rod Brindamore. The good news is no eye injury when he got hit in the face with that puck. The bad news is he has a broken nose, several stitches on his forehead. He may be able to come back. It's doubtful if he does, obviously, with a mask. Gary?
All right. Good to hear it was not more serious, though, the way he took that puck in the face. 13 seconds left to go here. Flyers' second power play of the game. Taking it out for holding 1938. Lindros hit. Good shot. Deflected in front and into the seats with 6.1 seconds remaining in the second period. Fedek decked in front. Been more of a presence here in the second period. Let's pick the pace up. All right, he's a storyline for Madison Square Garden. Fedek. There you see the numbers being put up tonight by those two Philadelphia Flyers. Fedek with 2 points to goals. Galley 2 points to the assist. And Gardner for the Rangers his 5th shorthanded goal. That ties the team single season record and also is now number 1 in the National Hockey League, a tie for shorthanded. Rangers out shooting Philadelphia 24-14. And they've had the better of it as far as chances are concerned.
A little more even playing field in the second period, though, than the first. And part of the reason is that the Flyers have stayed out of penalty trouble by and large.
6.1 left. Still time here. Lindros in the faceoff trying to shoot it in himself off the draw. Squirts free in the Rangers. Messier will just clear it out of the zone, and that'll do it. So we completed 2 periods. A minute 38 will be remaining, though, in the power play for Philadelphia when we start the third period. And a long way to go in this one. Rangers 4, Philadelphia 2. Steve?
Gary, Bill, thanks very much. We'll get it back to you two gentlemen very shortly. But highlights and scores coming up in this intermission, including the Canadiens and the Islanders. And that means Vincent Damphousse, leading scorer from Montreal, took a big bang in this one. We'll show it to you on this intermission coming up on National Hockey Night.
ESPN's exclusive coverage of National Hockey Night is brought to you by Blockbuster Video. Only Blockbuster Video gives you so many movies, so many ways to make every night a blockbuster night.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our National Hockey Night studios. The game that many of you are enjoying after 2 periods of play now. The Rangers leading the Philadelphia Flyers by a score of 4-2. Elsewhere tonight around the National Hockey League, Dallas is playing at Detroit. 5th meeting of the year between these old Central Division rivals. Of course, Dallas, when they were in Minnesota, was an old division rival. Sergei Fedorov for Dino Ciccarelli, 1-0 Detroit. They were up 2-1. Dallas on the break. Brent Gilchrist to score, all tied at 2. Steve Yzerman looking to score, finds the net the hard way. He would do it right, though. Paul Coffey carries in to Yzerman for the one-timer. Jim?
Well, that's the benefit of having a defenseman that can join the rush. Paul Coffey, with this pass to Yzerman, becomes the first NHL defenseman with 900 assists.
Second period, Detroit does not stop. Mike Sillinger all along on a good feed from Greg Johnson.
Well, you see right here, everybody's focusing on the puck carrier, 4 Dallas defenders, but nobody watches Sillinger. He gets a great pass from Johnson.
4-2 wings when Fedorov steals the puck, wears out Paul Cavallini and takes it, and you got to feel for Andy Moog. That made it 5-2. The score right now is 6-2 after 2 periods of play there. And Jim, you talked about it on the pregame. You said against the Red Wings, we pointed out the fact they're averaging about 5 goals a game in their last 22, leading the NHL in scoring. And you pointed out, you said, got to play good defense against them or you could get blown out of the building. And that's what we're seeing through 2 periods.
Steve, the Stars coach Bob Gainey stated he does not want his team to get into a shootout with the Detroit Red Wings. He wanted them to play a smart, tight game. Well, they did neither. They didn't play smart. They didn't play it tight defensively. And they have not thrown a hard check for 2 periods. You do that against Detroit, you're just opening the floodgates and asking for a whole lot of trouble.
All right, Montreal Canadiens on Long Island tonight, taking on the Islanders. Highlights of this one for you from Nassau Coliseum. Patrick Roy allowed just 10 goals in the last 6 games, but he wasn't sharp early on. Brad Dalgarno on the rebound made it 1-0 in favor of the Isles just 46 seconds in. Just minutes later, Patrick Flatley gets the loose puck, feeds Benoit Hogue. He scores 2-0 Isles. There's more to it than that, Jim.
Well, DiPietro and Odeline are going to collide. That causes all the problems. Flatley, the recipient of a golden opportunity, makes a great backhand pass. That's the key to this. And Hogue, with a little traffic in front, scores the goal.
Isles played physical. Darius Kasparidis slams Vincent Damphus. He did stay in the game. Jacques Demers not saying nice hit. Second period, Guy Carbonneau denied, but Benoit Brunet pokes it through. That would make the score 2-1 in favor of the Isles. Ray Ferraro has just scored, so make it 3-0 now in favor of the Islanders. New Jersey Devils, they're in Washington, taking on the Capitals tonight. Rick Tabaracci in the net for the Caps. Shut out the Devils just 5 days ago. Off to a good start. Stops Scott Niedermayer on the 2-on-1, but he can't stop Scott Stevens. This is what you call a bad goal. Devils up 1-0. That was the only goal of the first. Scary moment here. Enrico Ciccone, the nasty hit on tough guy Randy McKay. You see he slammed him right there into the bench. Look how he hit a stick with the face as the door was open as well. McKay lying in obvious pain. Remarkably, he did return to the game just moments later. That's hockey, folks. John McClain has just scored, so the Devils now lead Washington by a score of 2-0. Devils have won 4 of their last 5 in Washington. When we come back, we will check in on life without Mario. The Pittsburgh Penguins doing more than just surviving without their leader and captain Lemieux. Welcome back, everyone. After 2 periods of play at the Garden in New York, Rangers lead the Flyers by a score of 4-2. Well, imagine having hockey's best player on your team, but not having him in your lineup on a regular basis. You would think the pain that keeps Mario Lemieux off the ice would just be killing the Pittsburgh Penguins in the standings. Well, not exactly the case. The Penguins not a one-man team. The Pittsburgh Penguins are a 20-man team. The Pittsburgh Penguins leading the Northeast Division and doing it all without their star Mario Lemieux. How have they gotten it done?
We have a very talented supporting cast. Certainly we want Mario in the lineup. He's the greatest player in the world, and when you have him in there, you know, it makes our team that much better. But, you know, we've played without him in the past, and you know, we feel very capable, and we knew that it was just a matter of time before he comes back, so we had to kind of hold the fort and, you know, give credit to the 20 guys that have played hard every night.
The team has played well minus Lemieux. After all, they've had practice through the years.
They're used to it, actually. You know, I mean, this guy's made more comebacks than George Foreman. It's almost like a boxing hockey thing going on here. But, and I think it's also led to their maturation as a team because they've been faced with this before, not only during the regular season, but in the postseason. And I think they have learned to deal without Mario Lemieux, which has helped them, and I think in the long run is going to help them as a team go on to win more Stanley Cups.
We're used to in and out of the lineup. It's something that we love to have him in there, and we love to see him in there skating. And it's a big confidence boost for our whole team when we see him getting dressed in the locker room.
The Penguins standout wants to be back on the ice with his teammates, but due to the fact that they're on top of the division without him, there's no real need for him to hurry his return until he's completely recovered.
If they weren't in first place in their division, there would be all kinds of controversy in town. Why is he not playing? Get him back. In first place, it's really taken the heat off management, the coaches, and Mario himself to take his time. And it's also instilled the players, I think, with a lot of confidence. If you can lead your division without him, what's going to happen when he comes back?
Now, don't misunderstand. This team loves having Mario in its lineup and is looking forward to skating with him once again very soon.
It's kind of like you have that something up in the clouds that you know somebody's going to come down and help you soon, and we're just waiting for it. I think that's the great thing is that, you know, we're doing so well. Imagine when we get Mario back.
Back to Murphy. Murphy to Ron Francis. Craigwell up to pressure him. In front, drops down to Neal. He scores!
You get used to playing without him, but it'd be awful nice to play with him.
Here's Lemieux. Stevens shoots, and he scores!
We love playing with Mario, believe me. You know, it's so much. I think the team goes to another degree when Mario is in the lineup, and I think there's a new dimension. It's called the Lemieux factor, and you know, it really puts everybody else on their heels a great deal. So we're very excited about having Mario in the lineup, believe me.
Mario Lemieux is back on ice, getting set for his return. No one knows exactly when that will be. Brian Leetch on the ice after taking a thunderous hit earlier. He scored to make it 3-1. It's now 4-2 Rangers after 2. Here on National Hockey Night, we update the updates. That's right. Brad Delgado and Marty McInnes got together earlier for a goal. That was Delgano's. This time the two hook up for McInnes' goal. I don't even know if he touched it. He got a piece of it. That made the score 4-1. That's where they stand right now. They are after 2 periods of play there. Also another update for you. Stephane Richer has scored for the New Jersey Devils. On Sunday, it was the Capitals shutting out the Devils 4-0. Right now, they are in the second period. The Devils up 3-0 in Landover. Third period action from the Garden in New York is next.
ESPN's exclusive coverage of National Hockey Night is brought to you by Pontiac and your local Pontiac dealer. We are driving excitement. By cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Get out of the old, get into the cold. And by McDonald's. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
Great to have you with us here at Madison Square Garden in New York. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, and Elmore Gandy as we go to the third period. Teams out on the ice, and the New York Rangers, who won 20 games at home all last year, going after their 17th win at home this season.
Now, this is why I talked about it being playoff-like intensity, and nobody's immune. That is Mark Messier getting strafed against the boards by rookie Andre Faust. And if it wasn't Messier, it was Jay Welch getting crashed in. This resulted in a Flyer scoring 10. The 2-on-1 Joseph Varanek shot, and Mike Richter was able to stop. And the two biggest guns in this game, Messier and Eric Lindros, they've been big in more ways than one. But everybody after that second period had to be saying, let's tighten the chin straps, guys. Here's what the two big men have done. We're talking out of 40 minutes. Lindros has a little more ice time than Mark Messier. And Gary, in the first period, you mentioned we won't see many shifts by fourth-line guys. Be interesting to see what the Flyers do. They played last night. I mean, they can't afford really, but maybe they can. They're in great shape. We'll see if Terry Simpson keeps his bench short, even though they're playing second night.
This is a big power play, Bill. Philadelphia starts this period with a power play. Let's see whether or not they can take advantage of it. Philadelphia power play opportunity as the Rangers had the penalty picked up late in the period. Flyers are 0 for 2 in the power play. This is their third. Tikkanen's out for a high sticking in 1938. Yuskevich drops it back for Galley. The shot, save, Richter. Rebound is cleared the length of the ice.
Flyers with all kinds of traffic in front of Mike Richter.
Richter's had such a strong season. He's got the 6th best goals against in the National Hockey League, and right now he has given up only 2 to the Flyers. The late offside call. The Flyers have to clear the zone. Richter with a .908 save percentage and a .260 goals against and 19 wins this season. Philadelphia drawing into the ice for the power play. 34 seconds left on it. Got time to get it set up. They can't control it. Kevin Lowe is there and sends it back the other way. Lowe dumped it back into the zone. Hit put on. Good play by Gartner. Took some of those precious seconds off. Philadelphia will rush it. Renberg, the rookie, into the zone. Galley cutting to the middle. Gardner tipped it in his own goaltender. And Richter knocked it away again. Loose in front. In front shot. Faust save. Richter. Rebound cleared.
Boy, what a heads-up play by Andre Faust. He had nowhere to go, so he pulled it back to the forehand. I mean, this is a real cool rookie. It's only his 3rd game this season. Had 2 assists last night against Boston. Oh, check this out. Here's Tikkanen.
Yes, a Tikkanen inside shot. Somehow a save. Tommy Soderstrom knocked it away on the tip by Nick Kiprios. A huge save. Remember that one in this game. It keeps the lead at just 2 for the Rangers. Tommy Soderstrom coming up big. Rangers back in their own end. Jeff Bookeboom's got it. That's the kind of save if the other team can come back. Philadelphia convert something here in a couple of minutes. Really fix the momentum up.
Soderstrom is still waiting for his team to get him more than 2 goals. We mentioned the last 7 complete games for Soderstrom. His team has not scored more than 2.
They got a move by Leach. He got knocked down, though, by Ramage after he made that move. Tipped it in on net, but couldn't get much on it. Zubov back at center, dumps it right back in. You saw the Rangers have not lost the game in the 3rd period this season. They've had 1 time this year where they've had a lead going to the 3rd, where they've ended up with a tie. They've got the 2-goal lead here in this game. Deflected back into the zone. Philadelphia trying to clear and get it set up. The Rangers keeping the forechecking heat on, forcing icing.
And Gary, in spite of the fact the Rangers have had trouble scoring, we are still talking about the #1 ranked defense in the National Hockey League. That's a problem for the Flyers.
Elmore Gandy, he's back on the bench.
Not an enjoyable intermission for Rod Brind'Amour. 7 stitches to close the cut, broken nose, spent the intermission with a bag of ice on the nose to get the swelling down, then was told by the doctor, look, if you want to go out there, if you have to wear their shield. And Bill, sometimes I think Canadian-bred players would rather have the broken nose than wear a shield.
Oh, well, he's got both now. Lucky him. It'll be a tough adjustment for Rod Brind'Amour. It'll be interesting to see what he does with the puck. We'll keep an eye on him to see how he handles the puck, because every player I've ever spoken to has said it is an adjustment when you have to put a shield on. And you know, Gary, you can tell that puck hit him flat because he was cut over the eye and his nose. And believe it or not, that might have been a blessing in disguise to get hit with a puck flat.
We thought it was between the eyes. His own teammate, Malgunas, was dumping it back in along the boards, and you missed it. It hit the boards and ricocheted right back on the schnozola.
Part on the schnozola and part above his left eye, so that's why I said it hit him flat.
Oh. Well, he's back and ready to go. 4-2 lead. Rangers up 3.5 minutes into the 3rd period. Philadelphia Flyers on the road, 11-9-2 on the season. Keep in mind the back-to-back game Bill mentioned, though, last night, having won 6-2 at home against Boston. They bust up after the game, stayed here in New York today, and they'll go back home tonight after this one. Cleared back to center. Philadelphia going back to get it. Shots here, 25-16 in favor of the Rangers. Renberg behind the net, leaves it for Yuskevich. Yuskevich to the Flyers, sent it up. Bookeboom will come back to get it. Bookeboom, the 28-year-old defenseman. Played it off the glass, didn't intend to. It ended up hitting some of his players on the bench. Let's check in with Steve.
All right, Garrett, thanks. New Jersey leading at Landover 3-0 in the 2nd. Sylvain Cote to Ally Afraidy. We'll see him on Friday night. The hardest shot, right? That one beats the goal 10-3-1 New Jersey. Then Bill Guerin, watch this individual effort. Wraps around the net. Rick Tabaracci, nowhere to be found. 2nd bad goal. He's been pulled in favor of Don Beaupre.
So both those teams at the top in the Atlantic Division right now ahead in their games, with the Rangers 57 points and New Jersey 52. You see the Washington Capitals spurred at 42 points. They have been right on the cutting edge of a playoff spot for the first half of the season. Brought up by Eric Lindros, dumped it into the corner. Mike Richter comes out to get it, clears it around. Richter being backed up by Glenn Healy in tonight's game. And last couple of starts that Richter's had, he's been pulled out of there in place of Healy, but not the way he's playing tonight. Off the boards, Gary Galley. Bookeboom sends it through center, or at least tried. Comes right back to him. Again, he'll lift this one into the zone. Wide of Tommy Soderstrom. They will have an icing call here as it's touched up by Jeff Finley. And we stop it with 15:58 left to go in the 3rd.
Tommy Soderstrom has had an interesting year. Up and down year, really, on the ice and even off the ice. He had to have his 5th procedure at the end of October for an abnormal heartbeat that he has, and the procedure involved inserting a catheter through a vein and up into his heart. They went in through his armpit. He has to have an EKG every month, and he told me today that he had it day before yesterday. It came out fine. What is interesting is that Soderstrom is able to read that flip chart. You know, the piece of paper that comes out of the EKG with all of the lines on it? He has had so many of them. He has learned how to read them, and before anybody tells him what it says, he can tell.
He's had enough of them, hasn't he? Richter the save, rebound, shot wide, Lindros. Opportunity out in front of the net that time. Lindros was there for the first one. Rebound came off deep, couldn't convert. Comes back through center. Philadelphia's had some chances here. Second half of this game in particular. Puck rolls into the near side corner. Renberg over to get it. Renberg drops it down low. Great play from behind on the check with a stick by Kovalev. Kovalev just reached in and knocked that away. Philadelphia scoring chance by the boards. Faust back in his own end. Ramage up through the middle with Sayev. Sayev will have to chase this down himself, and they are onside. Looked like Faust had let it into the zone there, but Glassman said no. Comes back for Graves. Graves sends it through center. Rangers changing it up. 5 minutes into period number 3. Malgunas. Malgunas over to Yuskevich. Yuskevich back in the middle. Philadelphia's completed their line change. Deneen out there now. Zubak. Baranek was there with him. Philadelphia down by 2. Rangers have had a 2-goal lead 3 times in this game. Twice Philadelphia's come back. Deflected. Not on net yet. Big pile up in front. Philadelphia keeping the pressure on here. The Rangers try and clear. Finally dumped out through center ice and into the zone. Rangers want to change it up behind the play as Nick Kypreos was able to clear it out. Deflected wide. Kypreos giving chase with Baranek. Kypreos, Baranek on him. Down on the ice is Esa Tikkanen. Tikkanen along the near side boards. Officials looking at him to see if he's going to get up and be all right here. Rangers have the puck. Tikkanen's getting up. He's hurt. Esa Tikkanen, and now he's going after.
Oh, he's going after who's that? Malgunas? You'd have to know Esa Tikkanen to appreciate this. He looked like he was playing possum, didn't he? He kind of limped over to him, and
then he could hardly walk.
And then he just lunged at him. Hey, this game's far from over, though, and if there are majors that are handed out here, Tikkanen has to end up with an instigator. And with 14:18 to go, Mike Keenan still needs Esa Tikkanen. It was Stu Malgunas, wasn't it?
Malgunas, who had started up ice on the other side of the ice, suddenly ran into a buzzsaw on his way through.
Well, now he's down again. I mean, there's no question that Esa Tikkanen was hurt. But I think his rage overcame the pain.
He was on the ice while that play was going on in the zone for all of that time. Then the officials blew the whistle after the Rangers lost control of the puck.
Well, he's all right now. He looked like he was holding his right knee. Here's Yuskevich, and there, oh, that's what it was. It was one of those pokes in the back of the leg by Stu Malgunas, and that's where he got poked, right where Tikkanen is holding. Dangerous play when a player is going towards the boards. It's very hard to detect from a referee's standpoint. He tried to get up a couple of times. Finally said, I'm using my stick as a crutch. It's like a long John Silver. He limps over. That's pretty funny. I mean, I feel for him because he was in a lot of pain. But that's a dangerous play. I mean, a lot of players do it.
Well, he's 1 for 2 now. He's got one of his own teammates, and now he gets a Ranger who's doing Malgunas.
Yeah.
Esa Tikkanen still trying to walk it off over there. Picks up 2 for roughing at 5:42.
He had the crutch going there.
Yeah. Malgunas goes to the bench, and where did that come from? Another big power play chance. The Flyers have been unable to convert. 0 for 3 in the power play for Philadelphia thus far. And for Terry Simpson's team, they need to take advantage of one of these tonight. They've had only the 4 shots, and they have given up a shorthanded goal. Picked up in this game by Gartner early on. So let's see what they do with it here. Lindros will stay out on the power play unit. Yves Racine will be working one of the points as he takes it behind his own net. 14:09 left to go here in the third. Lindros brought it in and dumped it in the corner. Recchi behind the net. Leach got there first. Recchi blocked it. Wide side Bukaboom. Bukaboom up to the point, and it is out of the zone as Tony Amonte drove it out. And he'll flip it deep. Graves up there. Adam Graves has picked up a goal in this game. Why is that important? When he scores, the Rangers are 21, 1, and 1. What? Is that for real? Or is that just an anomaly here staring us in the face?
Well, the numbers are real.
Does it really matter that much that he scores? I don't know. It's one of those hard to tell. When you start piling them up like that, though, it starts to look pretty important. Lindros leads it back for Recchi. Setting up in front, Lindros. Galley cutting in. Galley shot save made off the blocker by Mike Richter. Galley, the defenseman, gets hauled down. No call. That could have given a 2-man advantage to Philadelphia. Well, there wasn't a call.
Jeff Bukaboom very smartly dropped his stick on the play and just let it go with Galley.
Zuboff will chase this one down. Zuboff, Rangers need a clear. Will not get it. Held in on the near side by Racine. Now flipped out of the zone by Zuboff. Power play still underway. 35 seconds remaining on it. Tommy Soderstrom got it up for Gary Galley. Philadelphia changing up rather slowly on this power play unit. At center, Zuboff takes it away again. Rangers short-handed here. They lead the league in short-handed goals, having picked another one up tonight. 14 on the season for them. Rangers in their own end trying to kill this off. Played by Zuboff. Zuboff tied up by Redberg. Zuboff off the boards. Nemchinov circle, could not get that one out. Philadelphia still with a chance here. Deflected behind the net. Zuboff. And it's cleared out, and that's going to do it. They do not convert. Penalty is over. They're 0 for 4.
You know, we've talked about Zuboff and Leach a lot in the power play. They don't regularly play together as a pair, but they are paired up in the power play. So the Rangers have two excellent pairs when they split them up. Kevin Lowe plays with Zuboff. Jeff Bukaboom plays with Brian Leach. Terrific on the kill, and both sets of defensemen were out there for that kill.
They got it done that time. Back comes Kovalev. Kovalev centering pass. Graves tipped it, but it went wide. Rebound to Leach. Leach looking. Leach, the defenseman behind the net. Graves set up in front. Leach some room. The shot. Save. Soderstrom. Rebound sent right out at the top of the crease. Philadelphia will break it out. Joseph Baranek. Baranek. Leach stepped in front of him. Pickpocketed away. What a game. Another one for Brian Leach. Tons of ice time. Both ends of the ice contributing. Even strength. Power play. Short-handed. And he's been around Eric Lindros a lot tonight. Lindros has been on the ice.
You know, one of the things the Rangers have done effectively, and we thought they were going to do this, when the Flyers jump it in and the Flyers try to establish a forecheck, they're afraid the Rangers are of Lindros with his body. I mean, he comes rolling over people, so they tried to hold him up, and they've interfered with him and gotten in his way a lot.
A lot tonight.
And as a result, we haven't seen a lot of Lindros big hits, have we?
No, we haven't. He hasn't had the opportunity. He's been tangled up somewhere along the boards. Tony Amani moves over. Yaskevich there with him. Amani held it in. Tikkinen back out on the ice, so he's all right. He and Brendamore go at it. The two guys who've been hurt by Malgunas try and hurt one another. Back the other way. 3-on-2 break. Philadelphia's got it. Brendamore in the middle. Deneen coming. Shot. Missed on the short side. Great chance right there in a 3-on-2. Baranek broke his stick when he took the shot. Dumped right back in by Ramage. Richter tried to get it on the far side as Tikkinen took his man down after he'd lost his stick. Tikkinen going to the bench for the Rangers. Down they go. Nobody can control. Nobody can stay up right now. Tommy Soderstrom tips it a little deeper. Both teams coming over the boards here on the chain. Philadelphia down by 2. Pettit leaves it. Galley back. Lindros near side. Lindros looking out in front. Lindros tied up. Fans every time Lindros touches it, all over him here. 10 minutes left to go in this third period. You see him trying to get away. Zuboff was there. Wouldn't leave him alone. Centering pass. Deflected. Rangers right there. They've done a great job defensively. Hudson able to clear it out. Drelvin cleared it out of the zone. Really have been all over it. Gone through 3 line changes now without a whistle here. That's to the Rangers' advantage. Hudson sends it in. 9:49 left to go in the third. Philadelphia trying to get this at least to a 1-goal game here. Lowe hauls down Recchi. Recchi looking for a goal. Didn't get it.
There was a Lindros hit.
Lindros at the other end. Took him down. Nemchinov the other way. Can't control it. Sergei Nemchinov shot. Gardner missed it wide. Comes off the boards. End-to-end offensive flurry here in this game right from the beginning. Philadelphia now, they've got to take some chances here. 9:20 left to go, trailing the Rangers by 2. Gardner was there, hit put on by Gilbert. Puck still in the zone. Philadelphia, Renberg able to get it out. They've got a 4-on-2. Renberg brings it 4-on-3. In the middle, can't control it. 4-on-2, then a 4-on-3, and no shot.
Too many guys. It didn't look like there was any intention on any of those passes. Just throw it to the bunch of guys.
Yaskevich, with Sayev chasing it down. Cleared out of the zone by Gardner. Yaskevich back at center.
There are 2 broken sticks over on the far side of the ice, and they have been in the way constantly. The play has had to go around them about 4 times. It has been that kind of game, hitting with everything, including the sticks, the toothpick factory. Well, the jury is back. Terry Simpson, the Flyers coach, is going with 3 lines. His team played last night, but they are in terrific shape. He works them long and hard. I mean, they have hour-and-a-half practices, high-tempo practices. Mike Keenan, on the other hand, short practices, 35, 40 minutes, high-tempo. A very good reason why those coaches have different philosophies. The Flyers are a young team. The Rangers are an old team.
Shot from the point, deflected wide. Bukaboom, pretty good wind up on that one. Leach sends it back in the other way. Bukaboom chasing it down, tip it out. Conroy. Conroy's got it. Dineen on the right. Rangers back. Conroy shot. That was deflected wide. Philadelphia. Ravage trying to hold it in. Can't. Comes back to center. Philadelphia down by 2 and a fight at the other end being broken up by the linesman as Dineen was into it. And they did break it up and let the play go on. Dineen got into it with Kyprios, and players mostly separated themselves before Dan McCourt came over and stepped in the middle. Oh, what a mugging by Tikkanen. And he's got to go. That is not a smart penalty by a veteran.
Well, he tried to torque Dave Tippett the way Eric Lindros did to Nick Kyprios that we showed you in the first period. No sooner did I mention Terry Simpson going with 3 lines than Dave Tippett and Al Conroy come over the board. Dave Brown has not seen the ice, but Terry Simpson has worked Dave Tippett in and Al Conroy. But Esa Tikkanen has been very prominent in the spotlight over the last few minutes. Sitting right here. That's why we've had good shots of him. Here's how this thing started. Tikkanen jamming Conroy along the boards. Dineen was going at it with Nick Kyprios at the time. As they come up ice, left of the screen. Tikkanen without his helmet. What else is new in this game?
Tried to take his off. So Tippett preserved the helmet and his life.
Yeah, Tikkanen wasn't trying to take his head there as much as he was just trying to torque him. All you need is a little tug on a player when you're jumping behind him to sort of twist his torso around and throw him off balance. You do it too hard, you get a penalty.
Last 3 penalties have been picked up by Esa Tikkanen. Holding the stick, roughing, and holding again at 11:48. But Philadelphia has not been able to take advantage of those power play chances. In behind the net, Recchi trying to dig it out. Recchi, Renberg, and Lindros. Galley cannot hold it in. Philadelphia 2-game win streak. The Rangers have lost their last 3 and 4 of their last 5. That's what's on the line here tonight between these 2 division rivals. Played behind the net by Galley. 7:40 to go in the 3rd period, with the Rangers leading it by a score of 4-2. Richter looking. Lindros moved in on him. He backed it up the other way to Messier, who's playing in the shorthanded unit. Cleared out of the zone. Graves for the Rangers is 27th. Gardner has picked up his 19th. Leach has picked up his 13th, and Hudson his 2nd. The 4 goals for the Rangers. Philadelphia Fedek has picked up his 10th and his 11th. The 2 Philadelphia goals. Sent up and out. Penalty killing unit of the New York Rangers has gotten it done here tonight. On the season, Philadelphia scored only 1 power play goal in 8 chances against the Rangers in 2 games. But Philadelphia won the previous meeting between these 2 teams, the only time they met 4-3 on October 16. Power play still underway here. Cleared out. 40 seconds left on it. Chased down Yuskevich. He got slashed by Gardner, and down he goes. No penalty here. Yuskevich is all right, gets up, and there we're seeing the tied legs right there. Philadelphia trying to change it up in a hurry. 27 left on their power play. Down goes Renberg. Kevin Lowe got a piece of it. Renberg getting up, pucks there. Lowe bats it around him along the boards and up. And out of the zone. Faust couldn't hold it in. Short-handed Messier. Messier makes a move. Still has it. Messier trying to run it in. Couldn't do it. Racine was there to knock it away, and then Racine got nailed on the boards.
Like Adam Graves never lets you off the hook. I mean, if he's within hitting distance, he never just swings by a player. You know you're going to get cranked.
They've killed it off, Bill. Power plays killed Philadelphia tonight. They've not been able to take advantage. Tikkanen on the ice. Fanned on the shot. Tried again. Gets stood up. Here comes Philadelphia's Dineen. Dineen, the blue liner. Save made by Mike Richter. 5:57 left to go. Philadelphia taking the 0 for tonight in 5 chances on power plays, and they've had only 5 total power play shots. Now they got to try and do it even strength. Dineen drops it off. Tippett winds up. Shot blocked by Esa Tikkanen, and they go at it again.
Why I oughta.
New York Rangers, second best record in the National Hockey League, and they are leading here by a score of 4-2. They've got only 5:41 left to go, and Tikkanen has been all over the place here. There were no penalties called on that last array of activity. Brenda Moore back out on the ice. Tikkanen stays out and wins the draw and brings it up himself. He would have fired on to Tikkanen.
This is kind of game 2. I mean, you do him wrong, and Tikkanen all of a sudden just plays like a possessed human for the rest of the game. I mean, he has been all over the place. Yeah, he's taken a couple of penalties. But boy, you won't beat him on a man-to-man situation from here to the end of the game. No way.
And Mike Keenan, aware of that's going to keep him out on the ice as much as he can because he has got the fires burning. Another jam hit. Bukabum over on the far side. Got a good nail shot on Malgunas. Malgunas, all right, stays out on the ice. Rangers changing. Oh, what a hit by Yuskevich.
And that was on Nick Kiprios.
Wow. Dmitry Yuskevich leveled big Nick Kiprios. Usually, Kiprios is the one doing the knocking down. And I'll tell you, the officials right now, especially Bill McCreary, got to be taking long looks over the ice here.
Oh, man. Biggest hitting game I've seen this year. Biggest.
They are really knocking each other around, playing some outstanding hockey. There's another one. That time it was Lindros who moved up and took down Eddie Olchuk, who hasn't been out there tonight, has he?
They're like, give me a chance to get warmed up.
He comes out on the ice for a shift, and Lindros nails him. Lowe's got it behind the net. 4:30 left to go. Packed house at Madison Square Garden responding to it. Rangers up 4-2. There's Eddie Olchuk. I think that's the first shift he's had. Cleared back into the Ranger end, and they'll change it up. Hudson able to knock it deeper into the zone. Gary Galley goes back to get it. Intercepted by Gartner. He's got a shorthanded goal tonight. Nemchinov and Gartner. Gartner looking. Shot. Hit the post. Hit the wide side post. Mike Gartner on the far side again. Gartner gets nailed over there by Finley. Hit nailed again from behind by Galley. Still has the puck in the zone. Rolled in on Tommy Soderstrom, and he hangs on. This is the National Hockey League.
Well, you're the only thing that hasn't been hit in this hockey game because posts have been hit. Mike Gartner just hit one. He already has a goal in this game, and he dinged this one off the post to the long side. Flyers have been hit. Rangers have been hit. This time, Nick Kiprios, well, he just let up. I don't think... What?
I hope he didn't have a big meal today. Philadelphia down 4-2. Time running out. 3:50 left to go. Philadelphia's got to go all out here. May open it up for the Rangers. Faust has got it on the near side. Faust taken out of the play. Messier drives it in as Graves put the hit on initially. In the corner. Racine back to get it. Couldn't control. Philadelphia trying to run it up ice here. 2 goals in this game. Again, struggling to score. Philadelphia coming into this game overall ranked 5th, averaging 3.59, but not of late and not when Soderstrom's playing. Messier dropped it to Graves. Center, tip fight, wide, just wide Kovalev. Great setup as that first line of the Rangers did it. Graves drops it off. Messier goes to the front of the net.
Flyers got a problem. Racine broke his stick. He's out there without one, right in front of the net. Oh, now Butsayev dished off to him, so Butsayev's the guy without the stick.
There's Butsayev with a puck underneath his skate. He wants to pin it up. Referee's not going to call it. He wants him to play the puck here. Near side for Renberg. And Philadelphia will be able to get it out of the zone. 2:50 left to go. 30-20 the shots in favor of the Rangers, who have the 4-2 lead. Cleared in again by Graves. Quick changes by both teams. The New York Rangers looking to beat Philadelphia and even the season series at 1-1 here at the Garden tonight. Gartner! Tommy Soderstrom, where is it? Yuskevich back to get it. Nemchinov on his back. Nemchinov deflects it into the corner, reaching in for it. Nemchinov, Yuskevich took it away. Yuskevich drops it off. Brendamore at center. Brendamore brings it in. Dineen the drop pass. Dineen shot. Richter the save and puts it in the glove. Now let's go back to our studios for our proof positive play of the night.
All right, Gary Thorne, that's right. Time now for the MCI Proof Positive Play of the Night. Couldn't have said any better myself, Gary. Take you to Joe Louis in Detroit. Paul Coffey to Steve Yzerman for the one-timer. For Coffey, that was his 900th assist. Only the 6th player in NHL history to do that. Back to the Garden.
Wow,
look at that score.
9-2 Detroit against a team that has been real solid defensively. Well, as Mark Messier said yesterday, when everybody was panicking here in New York, not everybody, but a lot of people saying, hey, what's going on? He said, you know what? I've never played on a team in my life. And he played on some great teams in Edmonton. Never played on a team in my life that has not gone into a slump at least once during a regular season. And the Rangers have lost 3 straight. Big deal. They're on the verge of snapping that right now.
I know of no sports team in any season, ever.
And 3 losses in a row can hardly be classified as a slump. They've lost 4 out of 5. Yeah, maybe a little bit, but that ain't no big-time slump.
Certainly isn't. Yuskevich cleared it. Recky's got it. Recky's been shut down tonight along with Lindros, who's got the puck right there. Has he had a shot on goal yet in this game? He has not had a shot on goal. That one ripped wide. Tried to get it on goal from center and didn't do it. Cleared around, and Nemchinov will chase it down at center. Poke checked away from him and sent back in by Eric Lindros. Lindros on the season, of course, continues to be the leader here for the Philadelphia Flyers on the ice now that he's back in action. But ironically, since he's come back, their goal output has decreased. They're 4-5-2 since his return. They're averaging under 2.5 goals a game since he came back. Here's Baranek, shot wide. Didn't get much on that one. Great chance. Rebound shot tipped wide. Recchi. Philadelphia gets one here. They've got time. They can cut it to one. Racine. Save made. Richter puts it in the seats. All right, Crest storyline tonight. Lindros, no shots, no points. Nemchinov, 2 assists tonight for the Rangers. Gary Galley, 44 points this season. Now tied for second among defensemen. Rangers lead at 4-2.
Flyers are still trying to get more support for Tommy Soderstrom. I mean, that's not their motive, but look at this save by Mike Richter. He didn't have to squeeze it off. He just deflected it up over the glass. The Flyers still struggling scoring goals when Tommy Soderstrom is in goal. They've only got 2 here.
Philadelphia will use their timeout here with 1:17 left to go to rest the legs of the people they want out there on the ice here. The Rangers up 4-2.
Terry Simpson's team is in great shape. I mean, they have kept the shifts short in the 3rd period. And they have lots of legs. I mean, legs have not been the problem. The problem has been the New York Rangers, who have played an absolute terrific game. I mean, #1 ranked defense coming into this contest. Mike Keenan's team has only scored 9 goals in the last 5 games, but they've got 4 here. And guess what? When the New York Rangers score 4 or more, they are 18-4-2 this year.
Messier waiting. He'll be part of the All-Star activity coming up all week long, and next weekend for the All-Star game. New York's avenues are colored with these banners out there. The All-Star weekend being advertised. It'll be next Friday, Grand Central Station. The greatest display of hockey hardware ever, and I think the nicest display ever. The mayor, Rudolph Giuliani on the right, Gary Bettman of the National Hockey League. Friday night, we'll be part of that next Friday. We will have the Heroes game for you and the All-Star Skills Competition next Friday night. Recchi the shot, deflected in front. Shot, save made. Richter, where is it? Underneath the pass. He hangs on. They've got the extra skater out as Philadelphia's pulled their goaltender with 1:11 left to go.
And the Flyers did what they had to do. They won the draw back to Mark Recchi. And they got all kinds of traffic in front of Richter. You know, one of the problems when you get so much traffic at the end of a game and you pull your goalie, you get so much traffic in front, you can't get a clean shot through. And now the faceoff will go over to Mike Richter's right.
Bill, if people are coming to New York, I want to make sure, do go to Grand Central Station. To see all of the trophies of the National Hockey League in one place, including the Stanley Cup, is a really unbelievable viewing spectacular. And of all places to have it here in New York, that deflects off the Grand Central Station, which is being redone. They're going to renovate Grand Central to make it what it used to be in days gone by, and show places of the world of the building.
It's almost like a portable Hockey Hall of Fame.
It is.
That they set up.
It really is. They got great activities. They're going to have a shootout here in Madison Square Garden this Sunday outside on 33rd Street, outside of Madison Square Garden. They've already done their Harlem hockey program. The New York Rangers raise money every year by going up to Harlem, where they've now got a brand new ice rink up there that they use, and a lot of the kids involved in Harlem in hockey, and the Rangers very supportive of that. That's been part of the All-Star Week. Some really great stuff going on in New York as part of All-Star Week, which got underway today when you saw Rudolph Giuliani and Gary Bettman together. Cleared out of the zone. 1 minute left to go. With the New York Rangers leading it by a score of 4-2. Empty net. Philadelphia with the extra skater. Gary Galley had it and lost it. Philadelphia will take it behind their own net. The full house here at the Garden. Treated tonight to a great National Hockey League game, and better for them with their Rangers on top. Gartner, empty net, it's over. A short-handed goal and an empty net goal for Mike Gartner, and the Rangers 5-2.
What a terrific night for Mike Gartner. You know, he has hit as much as I have seen him ever hit in this game. Brian Leach to Adam Graves, and then just a little chip shot through a couple of Flyers to Mike Gartner for his 2nd goal of the game.
603 career goals Only those. Howe, Gretzky, Dion, Esposito, Hull have scored more.
Marcel Dion is the only guy listed there in yellow that has not won a Stanley Cup that's ahead of Mike Gardner. He has said, I've got my 600. I am dedicating the rest of my career to winning a Stanley Cup. That's all that's important to me now.
Well, the New York Rangers certainly have raised the expectations again in New York. This will be their 28th win. 28-12-3. Philadelphia will fall to 22-20-3. Gardner's empty netter from Graves of Leach at 19-20. 15 seconds left to go here in the third period at Madison Square Garden. Philadelphia's continuing problem offensively, including a power play tonight that ended up going 0 for 5, has been the problem in this game, but credit the Rangers with a great effort. Rangers 5, Philadelphia 2. And Mike Richter has just tied for the lead in wins for goaltenders in the National Hockey League. He becomes the third goaltender to have 20 wins, joining Felix Potvin and Curtis Joseph.
You know, I think we really saw what makes the New York Rangers such a strong contender in this year's edition of the National Hockey League, and it involves team. I mean, you talk about the great efforts that the Rangers put forth in this hockey game. Mike Richter was there when he had to be, but Mike Gardner had a terrific game. Zubov, Leach, Messier in the early going. Tikkanen picked it up basically from Messier in the late going. And you go up and down their list of players. Tell me one player that did not have a strong game for the New York Rangers. I couldn't name one.
Everybody contributed. They are 21-0-1, where they've had a lead going to the third period as they pick it up here tonight. And Mike Gardner, a big part of that. A short-handed goal, his 5th of the season, and the empty netter to wrap it up. For El Morganti and Bill Clement, I'm Gary Thorne. Thanks for being with us. Rangers 5, Flyers 2. Good night, everybody, as we send you back to Steve.
Thank you, Gary. Thanks very much. Nice job out there at Madison Square Garden. One of the best efforts we've seen, I think, by both clubs. All around strong game tonight on National Hockey Night. The Rangers over the Flyers at the Garden by a score of 5-2. 5 other games tonight around